Turn, turn on my camera. Hello, everyone. Can you see me? Hi.
Yeah. Yes, we can see you.
Hi.
Great.
Yeah, hi.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and hope I am loud and clear. You could see me. You could see my screen. Is everything fine?
That's perfect.
Yes, all good.
Everything over.
Great. Perfect. So thanks for joining the call and I welcome you all to this training. I'm so excited to have you on board. Most of you or all of you are experienced project management professionals working for leading companies with a lot of experience. Thanks for trusting me to, trusting me and giving this opportunity to work with you for your PMP certification. All right, so let's get started. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. And before we start with the actual discussion, let's quickly, go through a few rudimentary things. Okay, the basics, like the introduction part about the exam, and we will talk about the deliverables of this training, how to prepare for the exam, and what are the methods we're going to use to prepare for the exam. This training is totally different from what you get in the market because I've been doing this training for 3 years and I studied this material thoroughly. And outside, we are restricted by PMI on what should be used, material should be used to prepare for the exam. But after doing a thorough study, I found out all the secrets we need to know for the PMP exam. We just need to know about 425 things. That's it. If you know this 425 things, you can pass the exam easily. Okay. And this training is will help you to expedite your learning process. If you are committed, you can get your PMP certification in 4 weeks, just in 4 weeks, including today. All right. In from today, if you do what I say, you're gonna pass this exam in just 4 weeks. Maybe you might take 6 weeks. All my students who attended the training, Feb-month training, they have passed the exam. Most of them have passed the exam, and few of them gonna take the training. I mean, take the exam in a week or so. So mostly within 2 months, you can easily pass this exam. And there are a lot of myths about PMP certification. Mostly people create a kind of you know uh, anxiety about the certification and market that and make people to register and take the training. Trust me, PMP certification is very easy to pass. I passed this exam scoring above target in all the 5 process groups through self-study. But I did this many years before. Now I'm doing this training and I trained more than 9,000 people. So I know what exactly we need to do to effortlessly pass this exam. Okay, so that's about this training. Now, before we get started, let's understand the rudimentary things about the training and what and all we're going to cover today and tomorrow. So, as you all know that today and tomorrow classes are demo classes. So, in total, you get 45 hours of training with Gantt Scholar. In the market, if you go and attend PMP training, you get maximum 35 hours. But if you want to pass exam with little preparation, this means you need to know everything you need to know about the exam, what and all you need to know to answer the questions in the class itself, so that this will make your exam preparation very light, enjoyable, and smooth. And there are some people who used only my recordings to pass a PMP exam. I will give you the session recordings. All the sessions are recorded, and I will share you these recordings, and you will have access to these recordings until you pass the exam. So when you prepare for the exam, you can watch these recordings, use my materials, and quickly, speed up your learning process. Okay, so we have two objectives. First objective, we want to become an elite project manager. That's our first objective. Many people plan to do PMP certification because they want to get a better job or they want to get better pay. Of course, we want all these things, but our objective should be we want to become an elite project manager. So we're going to master all the project management concepts through a practical approach. For example, we will use MS Project extensively. I will demonstrate you some of the challenging project management concepts using MS Project. For example, critical path, total float, free float, resource optimization, um, precedence diagramming method. We won't just use slides. We will play with MPP sheet. I will also give the sample sheets with you. You can play with this sheets. I will also tell you how to get a MS Project for free. Okay. So if you keep this as your objective, I want to become an elite project manager, then as a byproduct, you're gonna pass this exam. Simple. If you keep this as your target, I want to get this certification so that I want to get a better job, then it's gonna look like a mammoth task. So let's keep it very simple. We want to become an elite project manager. That way, the overall process is gonna be very enjoyable. All right. Fine. Next, we need to ace a PMP exam on your first attempt. When I say you're gonna pass exam on your first attempt, we are talking about scoring above target in all the three domains. Nothing lesser than that. Um, Yesterday, one of the learner pinged me, and he scored above target in all the three domains. Okay, show you this. This is quite normal. This is quite achievable. So many people are doing this. If so, we can also do this. So that's the point. Give me a moment. Let me show you this. So you see here, this gentleman passed the exam yesterday, shared with me this news yesterday. Can you see his score? So it's very much doable. It's very easy. And trust the process. I will teach you everything you need to know to crack this exam effortlessly. And you can score above target in all the three domains. Are you clear? So many of the times I will ask you, are you fine? Are you okay? You can react to my question using a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you're not okay, give a thumbs down. If you're okay, give me a thumbs up. Clear?
Yeah.
All right, super. So I will ask many yes or no type questions. So if you're fine, you can show me a thumbs up. Not okay, show me a thumbs down. All right. And you can always unmute and speak. You can keep your mic on mute to avoid background noises. And whenever you want, you can unmute and speak. If you want, you can turn on your camera. I would love to see you. And let's make this discussion more interactive. You can use the chat to post your question. You can unmute and speak. You can turn on your camera. You have absolute control. Okay. But ensure that remember that the sessions are recorded. So let's say you're going to do a private conversation with your spouse or something like this. Make sure the mic is on mute. Okay. This is just for this is just to be cautious. All right. Now we have two more participants. Hi, Geetika. Hi, Sayed.
Hey, Ahmad.
Hey, thanks for
Yeah. Hi,
joining.
Ahmed. Sorry.
Hi, Sayed. Sayed. No issues.
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
just dropped the call. There was
All right. That's quite normal with MS Project. Okay. So whenever you are, drop from the call, please join the call. Okay. All right. So that's
sure.
about the objectives. Now let's get started. So for the next 30 minutes, we're going to discuss about some rudimentary things, 30 to 45 minutes. I will introduce myself. You need to know me, who I am. And then we'll talk about the importance of PMP certification. Then we will talk about how we manage question and answers. And then we will start with what is meant by the exam content outline. This is our syllabus for the exam. The the PMP exam is based on something called the exam content outline. This is our syllabus. And then we'll talk about the exam and the exam, PMP exam process overview. And then we'll talk about the books we need to use to prepare for the exam. And I will also tell you how to pay the exam fee, the benefits of PMI membership. If you have PMI membership, you get a big discount. Okay. So I created some tables for you. So you can see if you take PMI membership, how much money you save, otherwise how much money you're going to lose. Then we'll talk about the courseware, the approach, training approach. All right. Feel free to interrupt me, unmute and speak, post your question on the chat. All right. Treat me as your friend, close friend. And don't hesitate to ask questions. There's no such thing like good question, no good question. Whenever you have a question, you need to interrupt me and speak. Clear? That's very important. That's the main difference between uh, having a real instructor teaching you the steps and watching a recorded session or a self-learning video. If you don't want your question to be known to others, you can ping me, WhatsApp me, or you can call me tomorrow to ask your questions. But ask questions. If you do not ask questions, you will keep that doubt in your mind, and that might uh, affect your further learning. So feel free to ask your doubts. Okay. Now this is Ahmed Umar, and it's me. I'm your trainer. I'm a PM coach and the founder of Gantt Scholar. This is my own company. I founded Gantt Scholar 2 years before, out of my passion for teaching and project management. I've trained more than 8,000 plus PMs the last 3 years for PMP certification. Excuse me, and I have more than 15 years of work experience. I'm from automotive background. These are my former employers. I worked for Robert Bosch, Caterpillar, Continental Automotive, and Visteon. So I'm a software developer and a system engineer. Then I went on becoming a project manager. I managed project for around about 9, 10 years. And then I became a engineering group leader. I was managing a team of around about 25 to 40 people. And we were into airbag system developments, battery sensors developments. So why it's important? Because to pass the PMP exam, we need to know about both predictive and agile. Because I'm from automotive background, I can give you a lot of real life examples, real project examples to make you to understand the concepts easily. In automotive, we do projects using hybrid development approach. Hybrid means some of the components inside the project will be done using predictive, and the remaining components will be done using agile, like software features. Things like the mechanical components, the electrical components, they will be done using predictive. And because I'm from automotive, and because we need to know both predictive and agile to pass the exam, PMP exam, I'm going to give you a lot of real project scenarios as examples to make you to easily relate and understand the concepts. And moreover, if you're from software background, feel free to ask your questions. I know everything about software development process, right from version control to requirement, uh, you know, coverage. So unit testing, integration testing. So feel free to shoot your questions. Okay. And I have Trustpilot score of 4.9. This is a old score. Now I have 4.9 as my Trustpilot score. People like you who took my training gave very good ratings for me. And it's impossible to achieve 5 out of 5 in Trustpilot because it uses a Bayesian average. It's impossible to achieve 5 out of 5. So I'm so happy, glad that I have this score. I'm thankful to all my customers and students who trusted me. And I conduct trainings for almost all leading PMP project management certification, including PMP, PMI, SCP, CAPM. And I love to, work on cost control, earned value management, risk management, and so on, scheduling. Okay, these are my areas of interest. I'm based out in Bangalore. I'm 37 years old. I have a son who is in grade 1. And in free times, I practice boxing. I also do gardening. So that's what I do in free time. Okay, that's about myself. This is my contact detail. You can reach out to me anytime, even after you know, you're done with this training, or let's say you're done with the demo classes. You want to reach out to me for any assistance, feel free to connect with me. I won't say no to you. Okay. So that's about your trainer. Are you clear with your trainer? Who is your trainer and his background? Show me a thumbs up. You have any questions? You want to know more about me? Let me know in the chat. All good, fine. Okay. I'm excited to work with you. So let's get started. How do you have a question?
Yeah, you said your what was your third area of interest?
Um, Earned value management, EVM,
Okay, and the could you repeat the other two? Cost control and
scheduling.
okay,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, great. So you can post your question in the chat, unmute and speak. Don't wait. Don't think, okay, should I need to interrupt? We have handful of people. We don't have hundreds of students in this class, only handful of people. And let's make this discussion more interactive. If you want, keep your camera on. All right. Now, most of you might be knowing why PMP certification is a gold standard in project management space. First is respect and trust. When someone has PMP certification, people will trust them. The reason is project management role is a very crucial role. You cannot assign this to someone who has little experience or knowledge or do not follow the processes. This will lead to project failure. If a developer or a team member is not performing well in a construction site, you can replace that person or train that person, and the impact is going to be minuscule, very small. But that's not the case with the project manager. We're responsible for risk management, issue management, schedule preparation, tracking the expenses, controlling the expenses, and so on. These are very important tasks. And we need someone who is trustworthy, who is capable to handle this kind of heavy responsibilities. So that's why people prefer project managers with PMP certification. And most of the Fortune 500 companies, if they hire people for project management roles, they either mandate people with PMP or Prince 2 certification, mostly PMP, or they prefer people with PMP. You go on Google, job openings today, PM job openings. You see the descriptions, job description. You will definitely see PMP certification, mandatory or must or preferred. Without this three letters, your resume or CV will not be picked by the ATS system. Okay, so it's so important that if you are a project manager, it's always good to do the certification. Okay. Second is better salary and better job positions, and you get promotions. People will trust, and many people who do PMP certification are the ones who want to come out of individual contributor role. For example, let's say I'm Bob. I want to lead a team or manage a project. I want to get into middle management role. But if I go and approach my PM, my functional leader, the functional leader might say, you don't have experience, you don't have the required skills to do this work. So better you continue as an individual contributor, let's say as a senior programmer. I don't want to do this. I want to come out of this and lead people, do business, and so on, work for directly for the organization's growth and business. Then people have a shortcut. They can do PMP certification, and after doing PMP certification, nobody can stop you. You either get promoted inside the same company, or you apply within a month, you get a job, better job. Okay, so that's about the importance or value of PMP certification. And moreover, this is a very tough certification to crack. If you do not use the right preparation method, it's very tough to crack, and that's why it has more value. Many people who try and not using the right method may not succeed in this mission. And this certification demands commitment, perseverance. Um, if you have money and 3 days of time, you can do CSN certification, safe certification. That's not the case with PMP. PMP certification demands hard work, okay, or smart work, or both. And that's why it's in high demand. Everybody who attempt for this, they do not pass. People who use the right method, they all pass the exam. So there's a huge demand, supply is less, and that's why this is a gold standard. This is the same as gold. So that's about the importance of PMP certification. Now let's talk about how we're going to interact. Feel free to talk, express your viewpoint. All right, do not hesitate. Are you clear? Treat me as your friend. Yes, no, maybe. Show me a thumbs up. Feel free to speak, express your viewpoint. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. Ask whatever you feel. Your question will educate the other person. Okay, and we have a lot of time. We have 45 hours. That's more than sufficient to cover everything in depth. The intention is to make this discussion more interactive, and whatever you learn from this discussion should be retained in your mind forever, etched in your mind forever. So ask questions, be as interactive you can. Turn on your camera. You can control your mic. You can ask your questions in the chat. And if it's a simple question, use the chat. Yes, Geetika, please. Have a question?
Hi Ahmed. I have one question. I know after doing PMP certification, there are job opportunities outside, but I just wanted to ask that do we have in job market, do we have options when person do the certification or even the study of this PMP course, post that the job options for project management profile? um, I feel like the openings in the markets are mostly required PMP certification plus wide experience in the project management initially.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Um, so whatever, if you go and read a job description, uh, project manager role job description, you will see things like should have experience in schedule preparation, risk management strategies, and EVM analysis, right? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
You're going to learn everything in this course. I will give you, uh, we will discuss about all these things. There's nothing you will see in the JD which is not covered in the PMP syllabus. All right. So, um, primarily, when if you are a project manager, you should know how to prepare a schedule. You should know the tools and techniques to prepare and manage a schedule. You should know how to do EVM analysis, earned value management. We should know how to do risk management, qualitative and quantitative risk analysis. So primarily these things will be listed in the JD. Plus they will mention you need PMP. Now PMP syllabus is all about this. If you want to, if you have passed the PMP exam, this means you already have all the knowledge and the interviewer is aware of this. Are you clear?
Yeah, so clear
Okay.
so far.
Okay.
But my
Great.
question was, Ahmed, related to the opening and JDs are specifically having the experience along with the certification of PMP in the
Yeah.
project management. What
Yeah.
if, how to crack that situation and how to deal with such scenarios when person is not actually having the experience in project management, or maybe the experience the person is having is a different profile,
Mm.
but aspire to go for a PNP certification and find a job in that field. So
Yeah.
it's
Sure. So
yeah.
I managed the same scenario for many people. So first is you need to learn MS Project and Jira. Okay, these two tools. Second, you need to download the project management process document available inside your organization. Okay. Then I will share you some documents, extra documents, process documents from your previous organization. You can go through them. And on top of this, your work experience is going to help. For example, you want to be a project manager for a software development project. You must know what is meant by testing, unit testing, integration. So anyway, we all are individual contributors, right? So that experience is going to help you certainly. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand your question. So you connect with me offline. I will give you step by step process to be followed, things course you need to do to master this. All right. To ensure that without actual project management experience, how to a project and project yourself as a project manager and crack the exam. I will teach you this offline. Okay, you can work with me
Oh,
if
sure.
you're interested. Yeah, great. But you are not the first one. I manage the same situation with many people. So don't worry. I know the proven method for this. Okay? All right.
Sure, Amit.
Okay. All right. So coming back to Q&A, after we finish each and every topic, we will again, have a short Q&A discussion. Once you are clear with the concepts, we will move forward and do the next topic. And towards the end of every class, so we have 4 hours discussion. We'll take one break in between. After 2 hours, we'll take a break. And towards the end of the class, we'll take 20 minutes to 15 minutes for Q&A, a dedicated time for Q&A. You will also give the session feedback during this time. So we pay a lot of attention to interactions and Q&A. So utilize them. Feel free to ask your questions using the mic or using the chat. Okay. Now let's talk about the exam content outline. This is our exam syllabus. Some of you might be already knowing this. Okay. Um, PMP exam is based on not based on any specific textbook or reference material. It is based on something called the exam content outline. Okay. So if you Google the exam content outline, you will end up in this page. Click the first link and go to the bottom. You see here exam content outline. Click this button. Okay, so this is the PDF. This is our syllabus for the PMP exam. PMP exam is not based on any particular reference material textbook. It is based on the exam content outline. So this got published in 2021 January, and in the industry we believe that by end of this year, PMI will change the syllabus. So for next 9 months, you don't have to worry. And if you go through this document, it's a very small document, just 20 pages, and you will find some important information detail. We'll talk about these things later. Primarily, this is our syllabus. PMI says, see, if you want to pass a PMP exam, you use any material you want. That's not our concern, but you must demonstrate you have skills and expertise in these areas. So here we have a big list. For example, we have some topics related to people management, conflict management. We will ask you questions about conflict management. We want to know whether you are able to identify the levels of conflicts and are you able to use the right conflict management techniques to resolve conflicts, how to lead a team, are you able to set the vision, how to perform team, how to promote team performance, how to build the team, how to manage the stakeholders, how to train people, coach people, okay, how you address impediments, obstacles, and roadblocks. Are you able to demonstrate your negotiation skills? Are you able to collaborate with your stakeholders? Are you able to build shared understanding, make people to work as a unit? Are you able to manage virtual teams, ground rules for the team to operate as a unit in cohesion, managing stakeholders, emotional intelligence? We will test all these things. If you know something extra, well and good, but we will only evaluate you on this front. These are the things we will check in the exam, whether you have experience, where you have knowledge, and if you demonstrate, you pass. So this is about people domain. Then we have process domain. We have topics like technical project management steps, estimation, planning, all right, managing communication, risk management, engaging with stakeholders, and then budget preparation, earned value management analysis, schedule management, quality, plan and achieving quality objectives. Scope, learn about everything. Scope baseline, WBS work breakdown structure, WBS dictionary, why we integrate plan components to prepare the project management plan, what is meant by iteration planning exercise, iteration backlog, and then change management procedure. The way how we do change management predictive and agile are totally different. So we need to know that. Okay, who is called as a CCB, change control board. What is mean by change management procedure? How to process a change request? Who's a product owner? Procurement management, contract types, how to select a vendor, how to outsource a work, artifact management, project governance, issue management, and whatnot, how to close a project. And business, we also need to know about the business. As a project manager, we do projects to help the organizations to achieve their strategy goals and objectives. So we learn about concepts like business case, benefit management plan, and organizational change management, how to protect the project from external influences like recession, inflation rates, right? Change in government regulatory norms and standards, competition. So that's about business domain. Now, this is our syllabus. You don't have to memorize all these things. We're going to learn about all these things. Whatever you see here, we're going to learn about all these things in this course. So that's the objective of this course from learning point of view. Clear? So for example, here you see um, manage project issues. I will teach you everything related to issue management, right from how to identify issues, what is mean by sense probe act method, what is uh, issue log is all about, who is an issue owner, what are workarounds, why we use management reserves to manage issues, and so on. Are you clear? So like this, for every topic listed in this sheet, we have a detailed discussion. You're going to master all these things when we finish this course. Are you clear? Okay, perfect. Now, in the demo classes, we will start with the foundation. So I picked some, topics which are basics for understanding the other concepts. For example, if you don't know who is a sponsor, we will not be able to understand the importance of project charter, why the project charter is approved by the sponsor. If you don't know different development approaches, you won't understand the differences between predictive and agile. Okay, tools and techniques we use in predictive and agile. So we will finish foundation, and we will also cover scope management. Scope management is very important for the exam. You get 20 questions, minimum 20 questions from scope management. In total, we need to solve 180 questions. Minimum 20 questions will come from scope. So today we will complete foundation. Tomorrow we will complete scope. All right. So that's about the exam content outline syllabus. Are you clear? Yes, no, maybe. Are you clear with the exam syllabus? Show me thumbs up. Good. Okay. Now, PMI recommends some books to read. PMP Exam reference list. If you Google this one, I will provide you all this link. Don't worry. If you go to this link, PMP Exam Prep, okay. Come to the bottom. Can you see these books? The top 10 books recommended by PMI. This is directly from PMI. You won't see Rita Mulke or other books listed here. If you do not use these books, most likely we will fail in the exam. Now, what I have done, I have read all these books for you and prepared the slides. Clear? So your job is made easy. You need to use the slides and prepare for the exam. Is it clear? You don't have to read all these books. I did this for you. Now you need to use the recordings and the slides to prepare for the exam. Plus, I read all these books and consolidated 450 knowledge points you need to know. These are called data seeds. by using these seeds PMI set questions. Whenever you see a scenario-based question, a scenario-based question is created based on something called seed. I will explain this to you in detail later. Now there are in total 425 to 50 seeds. That's it. I will give you this seed list after we complete this training or today's training towards the end of the training. If you are thorough with this seeds, data points or knowledge bites, you can solve almost all questions you're going to see in the exam. Is it clear? Yes, no, maybe. So how I did it, I read these books, plus I solved all the questions in the PMI study all right, around about 2000 questions. And I found that there's no more than 450 seats. That's it. So study all is the question set from PMI. So I did analyzed all these questions and found the seats for you. This is a gold mine. You know the seats, then it's a shortcut. You directly know what you need to know to pass the exam. That's how you can score above target in all the three domains. You will be scoring close to 100%. Are you clear what we're gonna do? Now I picked some of the books for you and kept it inside the Google Drive. So I will share a Google Drive link with you. Inside this you will find all the books. Give me a moment, please. Hi Ravi. Good evening.
Good evening.
We just started with the introduction part. Thanks for joining. I will share the session recordings. You can cover the missed part. Okay, last 40 minutes discussion. Okay, so learners, please copy this link and keep it with you handy. And request for access, I will provide access to you all by tonight. Now inside this folder, you will find everything you need. And we have other stuffs. We will talk about them later. Now let's go back to the, please copy this link and keep it with you handy. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So are you clear with the exam content outline and what are the reference books listed by PMI? Is that clear? Show me a thumbs up. Is it clear? Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Amit here. So I just want to know, like, whether we are maintaining a kind of a Teams group channel or something, so that we can share all the links and slide decks over there. Are we doing that?
Yeah. So I will create a WhatsApp group, and normally I do this for all the batches, and I will also show you. I will share the link with you, group link tonight. If you're interested, you can join. I will also share how to hide your your contact details. You can use this. There's an option to hide the our contact number, and you can still be part of the group. So this is what we use. I use to share the details, communicate with people and post the training. If you have questions or doubts, you can ask me in this group. Fine.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you can always hide your contact details. I will also share this, instruction with you how to hide your contact details, and still you can be part of the group and interact. Okay. Now, if you go to this Google Drive, you will find a spreadsheet named important links. If you open this, you're going to find all the links we discussed. So for example, here you have the PMP PMP exam reference book list. Here we have the link for downloading the exam content outline. And along with this too, we have other links as well. Okay. Fine. Now let's go back to the slides. Now let's talk about the exam quickly. We need to solve 180 questions, guys, to pass the exam. And out of those 180 questions, if you get more than 75% of questions correct, you will pass above target. That means that's the best grade you can get. Are you clear? This means roughly we need to get around about 145 questions correct. Is it clear? That's it. So don't worry. You will see some tricky questions in exam, around about 30, 40 questions. Even if you don't do them well, still you will score above target in all the three domains. Is that clear? Now the syllabus is grouped into three domains. First, process. Second, people. Third, business. Now here's a split. We will get 180 questions. Out of those 180 questions, 50% of the questions will come from the process domain. So as I already showed you in the exam content outline, you have many topics, core project management steps like preparing the schedule, defining the scope, managing the risk, estimation techniques, issue management. So these are core technical project management steps, how to maintain a product backlog and so on. You will get 90 questions from the process domain. The remaining 42 questions will come from people domain. This is why PMP certification is very valuable because this is all about leadership, how to manage your stakeholders and your team members. We will learn about many interesting concepts like emotional intelligence, motivational theories, and then how to create shared understanding and leadership styles, different stages of team development, many interesting concepts. They are very important for a leader, not just for the project manager. In companies like Cisco, anybody who wants to be a leader, you know, team leader, project manager, group leader, department head, PMP certification is a must. They will pay for you to take the exam. You can claim your expenses after passing the exam, but they want you to be PMP certified. Why? Because we have a lot of weightage on people management and soft skills, right? So this will become you an all-rounder. Most of the leadership roles demands soft skills and people management skills. You will learn so many things inside the PMP syllabus. Around about 76 questions will come from the people domain. And we also know we need to know a little bit about the business, things like the business case document, benefit management plan document, value realization, benefit realization process, and so on. You're going to see 8% of questions from business domain. That's around about 14 questions. So if you add up these numbers, you get 180. So this is a split. Are you clear? You see the process and people domain are very close. Is that clear? You get many questions from people and process domain. Now, after taking your exam, you get the score sheet. I showed you the score sheet, right, of one of the learner who recently passed the exam. So this is the best score you can get. So this gentleman passed the exam on 23rd, 2 days before, and you could see that he scored above target in all the three domains. All right, he's my student. If there are 4 grades, you won't see scores like you scored 92 percentage or 95 percentage or 82 percentage. You just see grades. Now the best grade you can get is above target. In this case, this student passed, scored above target in process, business, and people domain. Okay, in 3 domains. Remember this. Say that your camera is on. Okay. Say that your camera is on. All right. So we have, yeah, fine. So we have, you can turn on your camera, but I thought it got turned on accidentally. If you score above target in all the yeah, okay, no issues. Above target in all the 3 domains, that's the best score you can get. And it's very much doable. I want all of you to get this score. Okay, I will teach you exactly what you need to do to get this score. Then we have target. This means you are on proficiency. This is also fine. Let's say you scored above target in process and target in business and people, still you pass the certification. Okay, you get pass or a performance will be pass. If you score below target in one or more domain, this is a risk. That person will fail in the exam. Are you clear? So our target is, Either we need to score target, minimum target, or above target in all the three domains. This is how your score sheet will come. This is how your exam performance will be evaluated. Now to get this one, you need to solve roughly 75 question or more. 75% of a question or more than that correct. Then you get the score. Are you clear? Yes, no, maybe? If you get round about 65, 70, you get target. If you score lesser than this, then that person will get below target. This is something we don't want. This is a kind of red light. Okay, danger. Let's go back to this slide. Now, in former times, you just need to know predictive way of project management. Predictive means we plan everything up front and boom, we go for execution. That's the approach we use. This is a kind of this is traditional. Okay, so that's why predictive is also called as traditional development approach. In former times, before 1970s, 80s, we always try to plan everything up front and we do execution. Now things got changed. Somewhere in the middle of 1990s, people started realizing we are developing a lot of softwares with many unknowns, requirement uncertainty, and solution complexity. We don't know how to implement this. We need to trial. We need to experiment with this. We need to build something and play with it, validate it, review it to discover more requirements. We don't know everything upfront. So in such cases, you won't be able to do complete upfront planning and then do execution. This is not viable. I hope you agree with me. For example, let's say you're hosting a dinner party. You know how many people gonna come, guests gonna come, 20 people. Their preferred food, the venue where you're gonna host the party, the date, start time and end time of the party. With all those things, can you estimate the budget, the schedule? Yes, no, maybe. What's your opinion? Is it easy to prepare the budget and schedule, right? Yes, no, maybe. If you know all the requirements, right? So that's why we
Yes.
say, yeah, we do a plan and then do execution. This is only viable if you have all the requirements. Let's say, think about ChatGPT. Someone developed ChatGPT, a company developed ChatGPT, OpenAI. Do you think they would have had all the requirements to build ChatGPT in the beginning, or they would have did a lot of experimentation, trials, validation, discovered more requirements, and optimized the program? Indeed, they would have done this using this method, right? Build something, validate, discover more requirements, redo the things, improve the product. And most of the work we do nowadays are based on agile. We cannot do complete upfront planning and go for execution. There's no more viable. So that's why people started using agile extensively, and PMI is aware of this, and that's why to ensure the the weightage or the validity of PMP certification, PMI added agile into the syllabus. When I did PMP certification, the syllabus had nothing related to agile. Now we need to know about both predictive and agile to pass the exam. Okay, equal weightage. For example, you're going to see 90 questions from process. And from this, if you take these 90 questions, 45 questions will come from predictive and the remaining 45 questions will come from agile. Are you clear? The same with the people. The way how we manage people in 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 uh, in agile is different from predictive. All right, we have concepts like self-organizing teams, servant leadership. You won't find all these things in in predictive. Also, benefit realization, benefit management, plan preparation, the role of the BA, business analyst. They all are different in predictive and agile. So this is a split. For example, if you take 76 questions from people domain, 38 questions will come from predictive. The remaining 38 questions will come from agile. Equal weightage. So if you're new to predictive, then you need to focus more on predictive. If you're new to agile, you need to focus more on agile. If you're new to both, don't worry. I'm there to assist you. Okay. Everything inside project management are created based on common sense and human psychology. So we can naturally learn them. It's so easy. So let's do it. Now, the eligibility criteria, some of you might be knowing this. all of you are eligible. Don't worry. Okay, this is just for information. You need to have a 4-year degree. A master degree is also great, good, and minimum 36 months of project management experience. Well, we need to mention this in our PMP application. And don't worry, we will write the application in such a way that you have 3 years of project management experience. And PMI is not CIA or FBI or Interpol. So whatever we mention, they will accept. They cannot contact your HR department or functional manager to ask details about you. Nobody will respond to them. They are not a government agency. So don't worry. They do audit. Audit means, for example, whatever you mention in the application, if they want to check whether it's true, they will ask you for a reference. You can give my name. I will say yes. That's it. Over. Are you clear? For example, let's take Amit. Amit submitted this application. Amit is going to provide my name as reference. Now, PMI will ask me, do you know Amit? Yeah, I know. He's a great project manager. Audit over. And that too, they will select 5% of applications for audit. Okay, that's it. Clear? So you can give my name as your reference or one of your buddy who's working with you in your company. Not necessarily this person should be in some leadership position. Your friend, colleague, everybody is fine. Clear? So I will assist you how to draft this application. This is part of the training deliverable. I will help you to draft this application and get it reviewed by PMI. All right? So you don't have to worry about this part. I will manage this. Then we need to attend minimum 35 hours of formal project management education to take this training. That's one of the deliverable of this training. So we're gonna have 45 hours of training, not 35. Most of the training companies offer only 45, but I know that 35 is not enough. We need 45 hours of training. So you get 45 hours of training. The sessions are recorded, your attendance are recorded, and I will issue you the course completion certificate. And with this, you can write your application, and this training will fulfill this particular requirement. Are you clear? This is one of the deliverable of this training. In case if you have a diploma or other degree, then we need to show that you have 60 months of project management experience. Again, don't worry. We'll write the application in such a way that you have 60 months of project management experience. All right. Again, you need this 35 hours of formal project management education. This training will offer you fulfill this criteria. So don't worry. Now, how to get the PDUs? The 35 contact hours. As soon as you complete this training, I will also give you some questions to solve in my portal, Gantt Scholar. This is about assessment because PMI will ask us on what basis you issue this course completion certificate. They will come to me at times. Now I need to prove them that, Geetika attended the training. Here's attendance. We recorded this automatically using MS Project, MS Teams, and she took the assessments. She scored good marks. You can take any number of attempts, okay? So you can, I will show this details to them. So, and the sessions are recorded. She attended the training. The training really happened. Rarely they come to me as part of audit because some people without taking this training, they will mention that they took the training, and that's when they get into problem. All right. So you don't have to worry about this. So complete this training, take the assessments, questions. You need to solve some questions. Is also part of your exam preparation. And then I will issue you the course completion certificate. If it's so urgent, I can issue you earlier also. We will do all the required adjustments internally. And once you get the course completion certificate, you can write your application and submit it. Okay. Now this is the exam flow process, PMP exam process. So we are here. Once this training is over, you get the 35 PDUs, professional development units. That is 1 hour of formal project management education is equal to 1 PDU, professional development. Now you get 45 PDUs from this training. 35 is what needed. You get plus 10 PDUs. Okay, so you are now qualified to submit your application. We need to go to PMI website website, pmi.org, to submit this application. I will help you to draft this application. I will do one-on-one support. We'll review it together. We do this, by scheduling a Zoom or Google Meet call, and we will do it together. And we will submit this application in pmi.org together within 5 working days. Hardly PMI will take 1 or 2 days to approve your application. So maximum 5 days. Once your application is approved, now we need to pay the exam fee. I will say how much you need to pay because we have people from UK, Canada, Germany, and other part of the globe in this call, Malaysia. Okay, so I will tell you how much you need to pay. It's based on region. It's not, the fees is not fixed for everybody. Based on, for example, if you're from US or Canada or Europe, you need to pay more. If you're from India, less. Then once the payment is made, so till this point, you don't have to spend any money. That's the best part. Once your application is approved, you have 365 days to pay the money and schedule your exam. So let's say once your application is approved, we pay it in next 2-3 days. Now we have 365 days to prepare for the exam and take the exam. You need a schedule. When you're gonna take the exam, again, I will assist you how to schedule your exam, how to select the exam center, why we need to go to the exam center and take the exam, and so on. And once you, let's say, after this training, you're gonna prepare for 5 weeks, okay, or 6 weeks. That's your duration plan. How much time you're gonna spend to spend for the preparation. Based on this, tentatively, we need to find out I need how many weeks of preparation. So if you go to the Google Drive, you'll find a document called study plan. So I prepared this study plan for you. Here we have step-by-step procedure, topics we need to cover to prepare for the exam. This is in line with our training. All right. So we have in total 10 modules. We will cover first foundation, then scope, then schedule, then cost, then resource, quality, integration, stakeholder, people, and business. Now, you see here that list of topics, and beside you see the books, which book you need to read, and in this book, which page you need to read. So everything is available. Clear? Plus, I also made some videos for you. They're also integrated. If you go to our website, Gantt Scholar, go to Gantt Scholar. So whatever extra materials you see here, these are prepared by me. So if you go to videos, you get videos on important project management concepts. Okay, you can use them for your exam preparation. All tricky, difficult concepts are covered in a very simplified manner. Also, you find blogs, you can use them for exam preparation. So I've added all the links to these blogs, to these videos inside the study plan. So if you go to the study plan, for example, let's say you're preparing for scheduling. You could see some books mentioned here, which page number you need to read to cover each topic. For example, you want to learn about sprint, then go to Essential Scrum by Kenneth Rubin and read page number 61. That's it. So you can also see the blogs, the videos here. For example, this is my blog, and these are the videos I prepared for you to cover critical project management concepts. So this is one-stop shop. You have everything you need. Use this study plan, and we will find out how much time you need to prepare for exam. Can you see here? You need to first put your estimated effort and then decide your start and end date for each task, each item in this. I will help you to prepare this. You can leave this to me. You just need to tell me what is your preference. Like how many hours per day you can study? 2 hours. Okay. How many days per week you can study? 4 days per week. All right. And how good you are with agile and productive. If you give these inputs, I will prepare this study plan for you. Are you clear? And you can track your progress. We can have a weekly connect to see how things are progressing. You can ask me your doubts and questions. So are you clear with the study plan? How are you going to prepare? Now, after preparing the study plan, you will know how many weeks you need, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks. Once we know that information, we can schedule the exam. All right, let's say your application got approved today. Now we will work out the study plan. I will prepare this for you. I need your input, but I will prepare this for you. Once it is done, we will know, okay, from today we need 6 weeks preparation. So then we'll find out by end of June. This is April, May, June, or July. July mid, we will schedule the exam. Once I schedule the exam, we will work on our study plan and take the exam. In case if you want to change the reschedule exam, it's always possible. Don't worry. Let's say things are not going great or you got some other commitments, you want to postpone the exam to 2-3 weeks later, you can always do this. I will assist you on that as well. So are you clear with the workflow, how we need to prepare for the exam? This is the important part. Till this part, you can easily, you can achieve this level very easily. And this is where we need to work very closely. Preparing for exam, I will help you to identify your knowledge gaps. Okay. So that's about the process. Now, I've already explained you about the study plan and you have access to this document. Once you start your preparation, we need to go through, you need to use the study plan to prepare. Now let's talk about the fee part. If you're from India, this is the quote. You can pay the exam fee in 2 ways. First one is being a non-PMI member. You can go and take PMI membership. If you pay 9,840 rupees, if you're from India, if you pay 9,840 rupees, you get a huge discount. So to become a member, you need to spend 8,940 rupees per year. So 1 year validity. Now, during this time, if you take any exam from certification exam from PMI, you get a huge discount. Now we're going to take PMP, right? If you pay the exam fee as a non-PMI member, then you need to pay 45,510 rupees. If you take membership, then you just need to pay 23,000. Can you see you save a lot of money, right? So, but membership is not for free. So around about 10,000 rupees to be spent to get around about 20,000 discount. So if you go with this combination, taking membership and paying the exam fee, you can save 12,382 rupees. Are you clear? So this is the best approach. For people from US, without membership, you need to pay $555. With membership, $405. To take membership, you need to pay $139. This means you can save $11. Not much, but still you save some money. Plus, you get some benefits from taking a PMI membership. You can download some books. I will also teach you certain things about how to earn the required PDUs after passing the PMP exam to keep your certification valid. Are you clear with the benefit of PMI membership? Yes, no, maybe? Show me a thumbs up. So 12,000, if you're from India, 12,000 is not a small number. If you're from, let's say from, Africa or, Middle East, you save a lot of money. Trust me. Okay. Yes, Peter, you have a question? Yes. Please. You can unmute and speak.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. My question is, the certification renewal with the PDUs. I see that some we ask you for some payment, but I wanted to know how is membership renewal and the acquiring of PDUs, how is that also addressed as a PMI member?
Yeah. So once you pass the PMP certification, to keep it valid, every 3 years once we need to report um, 35 mandatory PDUs. This means you somehow engaged in project management learning for 35 hours. Okay. Now, if you go to pmi.org portal, you have a lot of webinars and videos, self-learning videos. Most of them are of 1 hour duration. If you watch one video, you get one PDU. So if you have PMI membership, you can watch 35 videos on selected topics. Maybe if you want to run multiple videos simultaneously, you can keep them on mute. Then you get the required PDUs in a day. Clear? You just need to play 35 uh, videos, watch them to get the required 35 PDUs. Is it clear? So that way, PMI membership is going to be helpful to maintain your certificate. Is it clear, Peter?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mohammed, yes, you have a question. Please let me know your question.
Yeah, just wanted to know about this. This PMI membership will be valid for 1 year, and this will allow for how many times to attend the exam?
Yeah, PMI membership and exam has no connection. The only connection is if you have PMI membership, you get a discount when you pay the exam fee. Even without having membership, you can take the exam. But only benefit what we get from having PMI membership is you get a huge discount. That's the point. Clear? Isn't clear, Mohammed? Okay, perfect. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any other question? All good, clear? Okay. All right. So this is our course where we have in total 11 modules. We know this. We start with foundation, then we learn everything about scope, then scheduling, budget preparation, and then resource and procurement, quality, integration, risk management, stakeholder. Yes, Ravi? Yeah, please.
So, what about the retake exam? There is any option to retake the exam if the result is not positive?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat your question?
I'm saying that there is any option to retake the exam.
Yes, you have option to retake the exam. In a year, you can take 3 attempts, but every time we need to pay some money. For the first time, we need to pay, right, 23,000 rupees. But for the second and third attempt, you need to pay around about 17,000 or 14,000, not 23,000. And maximum you can take 3 attempts, but we don't really need this. In the first attempt, you can score above target in all the 3 domains. But to your question, is it possible? Yes, possible. How many attempts you can take per year? 3 attempts. Once you're done with 3 attempts, then you won't be allowed to take another attempt for next 365 days. Is that clear?
Yes, it is clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Shabir, you have any question?
So this amount that we need to pay for exam, that will be excluding of membership. So membership charges will be separate and exam charges will be separate.
Yes, correct.
Is it right?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So roundabout you spend 34,000 if you take membership and pay the exam fee. If you don't take the membership and pay the exam fee, you need to pay 45,000. That's a difference. Okay. Yeah. Now our learning approach. Let's go to the study plan. the you have 11 modules, and we finish every module. You can go and read selected pages if you want from these books to solidify your understanding. And what we need to do after we finish every module, I will ask you to solve questions. Okay, practice questions. So if you go to practice questions, PMP chapter test, you will see these questions. Okay. Um, if you are if you paid for people who paid for the training, I've already enabled the chapter test. Now, let's say today we are done with foundation. I would ask you to go and solve these questions because practice questions will help us to quickly understand, you know, our areas of weaknesses and strengths, help us to calibrate ourselves. Do you agree with me? End of the day, PMP is an exam. So just reading videos won't help us. We also need to practice questions. All right. Now you can solve the questions any number of times you want. And you'll also, you know, have video explanation for each answer. When you review your answer, I have demonstrated how to eliminate the wrong options and find the right answer. For example, you see here, for every question when you review, you could see how to solve it. Clear? So for every question, you'll find a video explanation. Is it clear? Now I'm trying to transfer my tacit knowledge to you this way. All right, clear? Now you need to use the same way how I solve questions. First, I won't directly go and pick a question, answer. I will eliminate all the options and narrow down and find the correct answer. And also there are many types of questions, not type question, uh, critical thinking type question, intertwined type question. I will tell you what question type is this and what strategy you need to use to solve this question. So you need to follow the same strategy. There are round about 220 questions here in this chapter test. All right. You see here 17 question in this, 26 question in this, 35 question in this. Now for all of you, these two are enabled. Okay. Because these are part of demo classes, you can go and solve these questions. And after we complete today's training and tomorrow's training, I would expect you to go and try those questions. You can take any number of attempts you want. Clear? And you can see your score sheet. You can review your answer anytime you want. Just go and create a login using your username and password, and then your data will be maintained. Your exam scores, wrong answers, right answers, so that you can see how much mark you scored. In the reattempt, how much mark you scored, you can compare and see. So that's the approach we're going to use. Second, once we are done with the training, we have to take mock tests. So we have excellent mock exam simulator with us. Again, you can use, give me a moment, here it won't work. I need to create a login, need to sign in. Okay. So this is an exam simulator with all the questions, question types, features you will see in the exam. So here you have the timer, 230 minutes timer. We need to solve 180 questions in the exam in 230 minutes. You get 180 questions, and we need to. You can solve the questions. You have a feature called mark for review. You see here. For example, if you're doubtful, you need to mark this question for review. You see, it is added to the review list. And unlike the chapter test questions, you get few other types of questions. You see here, this is a picture-based question. You will see this in the exam. And you will also see a question type called multiple correct answer type questions. You see here, more than one answer could be correct. This is a radio button type question. This is a checkbox type question. You will see around about 15 to 10 questions which are of this format. And we will also see a question type called drag and drop. You see, this is a drag and drop type question. So these are the question types you'll see in the real exam. You can mark the questions for review. You can keep the timer. You can, pass the test to simulate break condition. Yes, you can review your answers. Yes. After you finish the test, you can review your answers. You'll see the scores, and the report will show you how much you scored in people domain, process domain, business domain, in predictive and agile. You get a lot of insights. Are you clear? Plus, for every answer, there's a detailed explanation. Is it clear? Okay. Now all of you get one mock exam question set for free. For others, I will give you 3 more question sets. Therefore, in total, 4 question sets. Is it clear? Whomsoever paid for the training, you all get 4 question sets. Is it clear? Okay, perfect. But still, for the demo classes today and tomorrow, you all have access to the module test, first 2 module tests, foundation and scope, and to 1 mock exam simulator. So enjoy. And this is forever. Even if you, let's say you're not taking this training, continuing with me, you want to use this later, whenever you want, go and use these free resources. Okay, they're always there for you. Okay, that's the approach we're going to use. Are you clear with everything? Shall we begin the actual discussion? Any questions, any doubts? Yes, Amit.
Yeah, hi, Ahmed. I just want to know, like, are these kind of PMI exam questions like kind of repetitive in nature? Like, are they kind of repeating every time, or no?
No, they're not repetitive in nature, but I told you the seats will repeat. I told you, right? There are 450 seats. They will repeat. Okay.
Okay.
They will only change the color. The crux will be the same. Are you clear?
Yes, got it, yeah.
They will just use a seat and create a scenario around it. This will be repeated many times. You cannot go out of more. There's no more than 450 seats.
Okay.
But they can be converted into so many scenarios, millions of scenarios. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mohammed, you have a question?
Yeah, this
Yes,
mock
Syed.
mock test we can attempt in number. There is no restriction for number of attempts for mock simulator, mock exam simulator.
You have 2 attempts. The limit is 2 attempts. But if you want, I can activate, extend this. Not a problem. But you
Yeah,
won't really
that will
need
be
it more than
acceptable.
2 times. Yeah.
Okay.
But whenever you want to extend something, the due date of the, for example, you all can access this, the chapter test and the video recordings and the mock exam simulator for 3 months. If you want to extend this duration or take more attempts, feel free to ask me. I'm the owner of the company. I'm the developer of this website. I can go and immediately update the database for you. Clear? Good? Okay. Perfect. All good, clear. Any questions, any doubts? Shall we begin with the actual discussion? Shall we get to work? Perfect. Fine. Okay. Let's get started. Okay.
Ahmed, I have one question. So the course will start as per the uh, content of the project management, or how the real project it will go through. Because if you take the real project in the company, will start from the kickoff and manpower and scheduling. So the content of the course will follow the same as the real time project, or it's like the it will follow the PMP exam content outline.
No, we will use the same flow. That is more logical, isn't it? I
Mm,
understand your
mm.
question because,
Yeah.
see, if you, I also use a PMI material to conduct trainings. So they will,
Mm,
talk about random things,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that won't help human brain to understand the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
For
Mm,
example, in foundation, first we learn about how to select the development approaches and life cycles, how to work
mm,
on OPAS and enterprise environmental factors, then what is meant by business case and benefit management plan, how we use that to prepare the project charter. So that's about initiation, right? Once we are
mm,
done with all these things, then we work on preparing the scope. That's the first thing we do, right?
mm,
Learn
mm,
about how we do scope preparation in predictive and agile. Once a scope is prepared, baseline is done, we work
mm,
on preparing the schedule, then
mm.
resources, then
Yeah.
budget, then risk identification. So like this we will approach. Clear?
Yeah. Perfect.
So what I did, yes, we are learning what we need to know for the exam. Whatever we have the exam content outline, that's what we're gonna learn. But I organize them in such a way that it is more logical. We have a logical flow and it's easy for us to learn and remember them, connect the dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear?
Perfect.
Okay,
Thanks. Yeah.
perfect. Good. Now, before we start this discussion, I'm gonna share you some um, okay, with membership around $140 higher we need to pay if we take exam out of India. Yes, yes. If you are working abroad and you registered in PMI website from your without using VPN, PMI will know from where you enrolled. Okay, you created the login. So based on that only they will charge you. Is it clear? You might use your Indian mobile number, WhatsApp number. They don't care. They will use your IP number and based on that they will charge you. Is it clear?
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, before we start this discussion, I'm going to share you some files. Okay. Give me a moment, please. So please go to this link and download those two HTML files. Once you are done, please let me know. There are two HTML files inside this. Keep them handy. Once you are done, let me know in the chat. Done? Okay. So we need to play many games. Games are wonderful way to learn things, understand our gaps, areas of weaknesses, and validate our assumptions in a more fun and eventful way. So once you're done, please let me know. We'll use many games like crosswords, drag and drop. Okay. Learners, please confirm me. Once you are done, please confirm me. Are you able to download these two files? Yes, okay. Please open it and keep it ready. You should be able to see something like this. You would be able to drag and drop stuffs. Can you do this? Confirm me. Yes, open. Are you able to drag and drop stuffs? Okay. Now we will do many such games in the future. Now, I hope you all have this file with you. It's also working for you. Now, don't play this game now. Once we are done with certain topics, we will play these games, okay? Fine. Now let's begin with the discussion. Welcome to Module 1, the foundation. Why I created this module? The reason is without understanding the foundations, like what is the key difference between predictive and agile way of working, who is a sponsor, in what way the Scrum Master different from the project manager, what is meant by progressive elaboration and rolling wave planning, PMF code of ethics, what is meant by servant leadership. If you don't know all these things, then most likely you're gonna have tough time in understanding the remaining concepts. Okay, so this is why. Give me a moment, please. Okay, yeah. So this is why I prepared this module. Now this is the foundation. After this, if you learn scope, you won't get any questions. You will be able to connect the dots seamlessly. So what and all we're gonna cover? Primarily, we'll talk about the project. What are projects? We need this for the exam. There are some attributes for projects. And then we'll talk about the PMI talent triangle. This will help us to understand why we have three domains in the exam content outline. And then this is very important for the exam. Stacy model and development approaches and life cycle, very important for the exam. And then we will understand predictive and agile way of working, how they are different from each other. We'll also learn about the Scrum framework. What are different ceremonies we have inside Scrum, how Scrum is helpful, how it is, why it is called as a agile, a methodology or a framework. And we'll learn about the key roles and responsibilities of Scrum Master, PM, team members, team members working for an agile project versus team members working for uh, predictive projects, and then the role of the sponsor, PO. We'll also discuss about two important business documents. These are the two documents will be created first when we begin a project, and once these two documents are done, reviewed by the top management, if the management is satisfied, they will give go ahead to prepare the project charter. So project charter is the mother of all document. Now to prepare this document, these two documents must be prepared. So we'll learn about all the three documents: business case, benefit management plan, and project charter. Whenever we talk about a project document, I will show you a sample, a real project document sample, so that you will be able to visualize things. Maybe if you're seeing these documents for the first time, you will be able to visualize things and connect the dots. Okay, we have Annie. Hi, Annie. Good morning. You can unmute and speak. Are you able to hear me? Annie?
Yes.
Hi.
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 Sorry, yes, I can hear you.
No problem.
Sorry,
No
I
problem.
joined very late. I'm working
No
actually
problem.
today.
No problem. We are just done with the foundation. I mean the introduction part, and this is the first module. Okay, we discussed about the exam and how to prepare the learning management system and so on. Anyway, we'll share the session recording with you. You can watch the recording tonight to cover the first 1.5 hours. Okay. All right.
Sure, Emma. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Enjoy the discussion. So we will talk about progress elaboration and rolling wave planning. These are important project management concepts. And you might see these terms in the exam. We also need to know how they influence our planning activities. And then we'll talk about organizational process assets and enterprise environmental factors. These are external factors which are outside outside the project, and they tend to influence a project. Some of them influence a project positively, favorably. Others will influence a project uh, unfavorably. So how to deal with them? We need to know that. And then PMI code of ethics and servant leadership. So this is about moral values. If you don't follow this, then we're gonna most likely fail in the exam. All right. So These are the things we're going to cover in this module, and then we will go and work on scope management. First, we'll start with projects. Okay, you might be knowing this. According to PMI, a project is a temporary endeavor. Remember, no project is perpetual. They have a definite end date. Some projects will go on for 3 months, some projects will go on for 10 years, but every project has a definite end date. And it is undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So in every project, we create something unique, special. We don't do repetitive work. If we're doing repetitive work, we are engaging in operations, manufacturing. In projects, we don't do repetitive work. We always do work to produce something unique. It could be a product, service, or result. Okay. And projects will be over, but the deliverables we produce will exist beyond the end of the project. For example, pyramids. Let's say definitely people would have used project management to build pyramids. Okay. Without that, they would have not achieved this milestone, constructing a monument like pyramids. Now, project is over, but pyramids are there for like 3,000, 4,000 years, right? So what are the characteristics of a project? We create unique product, service, or result, and projects are temporary in nature. They have definite end date, so they will definitely come to closure for sure. And we use them to create value. All right, when you say value, we're talking about pursuing a new business opportunity, expanding your business, making profit, or overcome competition, etc. And projects are constrained by resources. You won't get infinite time, infinite money, infinite people to do your project. Within the available constraints, money, time, schedule, resources, we should do the projects. Okay. And once the project is met, its planned goals and objectives, we will celebrate and close a project. Sometimes projects will be terminated. You might think this is a very risky project. Without knowledge we started, I think we need to terminate. Otherwise, we would end up spending more money, and we're going to lose, a lot of resources and time. Let's not do this. Let's terminate. Right? Maybe sometimes we understand the solution is not feasible. Maybe government might ban your product. Let's say you're working on building a gaming software. Government came up with a new law that these kind of games are not permitted. Then we need to give up. We might be in the middle of the project, but now if at all we complete this project, we won't be able to sell this in the market. And there's a big difference between projects and operations. Operations are repetitive, manufacturing. For example, you build a car model that will be done as a project. Once the car model is completed, it will be transferred to manufacturing. And in manufacturing plant, people will produce that car in hundreds of units, for example, per day, 500 cars, and they will sell it to the market. So this is a repetitive work. Operational manufacturing is all about repetitive work. In projects, we don't do this. We always work on producing something unique, special, one-time work. Okay, a product we create in one project will not be same as the one we do in other project. But in operations, we produce the same car, same stuff again and again and again. Okay. Now, here we have some examples: software development projects, constructions, marketing campaigns, research work. For example, we want to send a space probe, or we want to study about the Earth's geography. All right, even planning. Even we have the cricket season going on, right? IPL. So that's about even planning. That can be conducted or done as a project. Now, why we need project management? Well, if we do not have project management, we don't know the right tools, techniques, methods to be used to do the projects more efficiently. Without the right tools, techniques, and methods and practices, we may not be able to achieve the project objectives and goals efficiently. We might fail in the project. We may not able to forecast this project is going to fail. So to do all these assessments and to cautiously conduct the work, we need guidelines, we need governance framework, we need tools, techniques, methods. For example, if you want to do something, we need to estimate. That's a practice. And if you want to estimate, there are 5 types of estimation techniques. We'll learn about them. When to use which technique, how to apply this technique and produce the estimates. So without knowing all these things, we won't be able to do the project successfully, and we may or may not succeed. If you want to increase the possibility of your project success, then we need project management. Now, what are the benefits? Obviously, it will help us to meet the project objectives like completing the work, creating the product, achieving the revenue. Keep your customers, stakeholders satisfied by fulfilling the expectations, making projects more predictable. We can say whether we're going to succeed or not, how much money we will spend when we finish this project. Can we complete this project in 12 months? No, it's not possible. We're going to take 13 months or 14 months. So projects will become more predictable if you use project management. And it increases the chances of the project success. Also, you can deliver the right product at the right time. You know how to play with the constraints. Anybody can do a project if they have infinite budget. Do you agree? Even my son can do. My son is just 6 years old. If you ask them, you can use how much money you want, how much time you want, how much resource you want. Anybody can do. But we are masters when it comes to controlling, playing within the constraints. Do you agree? You know how to get things done. We need to do so much, yeah, we can do, but with just 12 months of time, with only 40 people, with $1 million, you know how to do this. You are master of this. That's the specialty about a project manager. Without project management, people will use so much of time, so much of time, resources, and money. But we know how to get things done with minimal resources, with less time and money. Okay. And project management methods will promote proper risk management, issue management, and change management. If we don't do all these things, then we will fail for sure. Absence, we will take more time, will produce a lot of rework, quality issues, we will be behind the schedule, we will spend more money than the planned budget, uncontrolled expansion of the project. People will keep on adding more work scope, all right, and stakeholders won't like us. Come on, these guys are producing um, poor quality work. For that, they are spending more time, more money, and we are not fine. They are not able to understand our needs and expectations and do it. And eventually, it's gonna affect your organization's reputation, and project will fail. We won't be able to achieve the targeted benefits like revenue, return of investment, producing something tangible. We will fail. So these are the demerits or problems we're going to have because of not having project management. Now, as a project manager, we should know how to play within this constraint. That's it. Someone asked you, yes, Raj, please.
Yeah. In the previous slide, I have one question, Ahmad. So, the first line, project management, it's application of knowledge, skills, and tools. Okay, tools we know the MS project, something that the knowledge and skills. The knowledge means the project which I'm going to handle. I should have the subject matter, like subject knowledge about the project or service which I'm going to deliver, right? That's the knowledge it's talking about. If, for example, if being I'm a project manager in engine development in automotive industry, I cannot be the project manager for the software development in IT industry, right? So
yeah, correct.
So where I'm more expert in knowledge, there I become a project manager. So that's what it's talking about, right? In the knowledge part.
No, that's about experience.
Okay.
Here, when they say knowledge, they're talking about scope. You know what is scope. You know what is schedule. You know what is a budget. Okay, so we are talking about that. So, for example, you know the knowledge of risk management. This means we have a knowledge area called risk management. You know how we identify risk, manage them. So primarily the process flow. Are you clear? And
knowledge
qualify
and
the
the
risk
process. Okay.
process. Yeah, project management processes.
Process. Okay. Okay.
Skills means things like negotiation skills, conflict management skills, and then team management skills. Things which are tacit in nature. Clear?
Yeah.
And tools means um, like we use a task board in Agile to you know visualize the workflow to do in progress. Then this is a tool. Likewise, we have another tool called you know control chart. If you want to visualize process variance, we use control chart. We have another tool called fishbone diagram to understand the root cause of a problem. So these are tools. Okay, if you want to resolve something, you need a tool to make your job easier. Techniques are kind of methods. For example, estimation is a technique, not a method. If you take a technique, estimation techniques, we have analogous estimation, parametric estimation, bottom up estimation, 3 point estimation. These are various techniques. Are you clear?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, techniques means a strategy, a small strategy we use to accomplish something. Tools means uh, an entity we use to make our job easier. Skills, tacit knowledge, knowledge, explicit knowledge, process knowledge. Anybody can learn knowledge, but to develop skills, we need to collaborate with the experienced person and earn the skills. Okay, are you clear?
Exactly. Yeah. It's based on experience. Like it's a follow up.
Yeah.
Follow up is the so one of the major skill nowadays we needed in the industry.
Yeah.
So
True.
for the which we learn in due course of working with the vendors.
Yeah. True.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Amit, yes, Amit, please ask your question.
Yeah, Ahmed, I just have a query. Like, do we have something called good project management or like bad project management? Let's say if we have a better plan or, something, mostly like on 99% the project management things works, but is there a chance whether it fails considerably, like when we don't plan accordingly or we miss something, we didn't track the kind of risk that we foresee or something like that.
Yeah.
Do we have something like a good or bad project management?
Yes, we have. So let's say when it comes to good project management, there are so many do's and don'ts. Um, I will tell you a few now. We will cover the remaining later. As a as a matter of fact, PMBOK guide itself, it's all about do's and don'ts of good and bad project management. Okay, if you want to do a good project, if you want to have good project management, then we need to follow the PMBOK guide. The guidelines is provided in the PMBOK guide. There are 4 5 major areas. First, you should work on proper stakeholder engagement. Okay. Second, we need to make sure your team is motivated, skilled, and performing well. Third, make sure you monitor and control everything. We need to set objectives. We need to measure the performance so that we can know the variance. Third, do proper risk management, issue management, and change management. So these are the major do's. Don'ts, there are so many. For example, using being a very bossy leader, using command and control. We don't let people to think. We give instructions and directions all the time. That's a bad project management approach. Second is not managing the expectations of the stakeholders, not validating the project assumptions, not being adaptive, being fixed. I won't change things. Now this is not good for project management. We need to be adaptive. If a client is asking you to change something, if there's a valid business case, we need to accept the change. And then not being transparent, not following ethics and values. So these are some examples for uh, bad project management. We'll learn more about this, you know, uh, in this course. There are so many, but in my point of view, these are the major steps. Okay.
Yeah, I think the best part of project management is like we have the feedback system every time, right? So in every stage, we have this feedback system that makes it like a diamond, right? In the
Yeah, exactly. That's why we need monitoring and controlling. Yeah.
yeah, okay, okay, yeah, thanks.
Monitoring and controlling is all about feedback. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
I think you're welcome. Durai has another question. Yes, yes, please, Durai. Have a question?
No, that was the previous question I asked, so I not
Thank
lowered
you.
my hand. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hari, you have a question? Please.
Yeah. So is there like a correct order that PMP prescribes in which we have to approach project management?
Yes,
For
very
example,
much.
for example, I do project management and I do risk analysis as the first step before anything else, before even onboarding the project. I do
Yes.
risk analysis and then I do feasibility study.
Yes.
And yeah, and then the further steps follow.
Yeah. So there is a step-by-step procedure we must follow. There are in
Okay.
total 49 processes. Okay. We start with developing the project charter and then recording the stakeholders' details inside the stakeholder register, documenting the project assumptions, till how to close a project. So there are 49 processes. We'll
Okay.
cover all of them and we will understand in which order we need to perform them, how they interact and influence each other. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Any other question?
Ahmad, sorry, it's the last question from me.
Please,
So
please feel free to ask questions.
yeah, actually, I just have a query. Like, so as you said, like the project is kind of unique and it will terminate after the product is being delivered or the deliverables has been delivered, right? So let's say we are making a product, say X, and the project delivered that product, and the stakeholders are happy and they are going with that product, but and the project kind of closed and that is terminated, and after some time the stakeholders wants to like develop that product much more with more kind of features, I would say. So will that be a project B or kind of a project A sub part, like how they are gonna take it up?
Yeah, we do projects for two reasons. First, to create something new. Second, to modify or enhance something. Now, if this enhancement is a very small thing, then the the operation teams will approach the project manager, the project team, and ask them to do it. So, for if the implementation is very small, we manage this as a change order, and we temporarily form a small team, use it. Maybe they work for a week and close. We don't really do this as a project. But if the enhancement is so big, for example, you already implemented a factory, now you want to automate things. Again, we need 6 months of time and $20 million investment. This will be done as a separate project. So it depends on what kind of enhancement we're going to do. So normally, if they are small, we regularly get this kind of enhancement. Now, the project team is supposed to, even if at all they are working in some other project, the responsible project manager, till the end of life of that project, someone should be there as a project manager. Are you clear? Now, the project manager should assemble a temporary team and implement these bug fixes or enhancements. Now, if the enhancements or the modification is so big, then it will be initiated as a separate project. Is it clear?
But as I said, like it's being done after some, let's say it's been the project. I mean, the product has been delivered, and they need some kind of feature enhancement after 6 months or so. At that time, the project will be closed, and like the deliverables has been already been delivered, right? So can the stakeholders come up with like come up with an option to enhance without starting a project B, or
No, we
can
won't
we
start a
continue
new
with project?
project. We
Okay,
won't
okay.
start a new project. So this is a kind of a workaround. So that will be
Okay.
handled that way. So we treat this as a change order, not as a project, separate project. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? All good? Yes, Shilpa? Yeah, please.
So if we are taking it as a change, I mean, and we are initiating the change control and managing the change management process. So we are creating the same scope of the project, or we are changing the scope of the project in that case? Because
Changing the
project,
scope of the project.
we have already delivered the deliverable, and already it's under the maintenance, and we are done. Transition phase is also done. So
Yeah.
after that, now the change has been requested, or the new feature has been requested. It means there's a change in the scope, or we just make a new team, or the existing or the previous team which we had during the project for the change team, like a change control team. So we're gonna pursue them for the for those changes.
Yes, you're right. See, normally this is the interaction between product life cycle and a project life cycle. Now, if you take a project life cycle, it will be typically like this: initiate, plan, execute, close, monitor, and control. Okay, this is the typical project life cycle. If you take a project life cycle, it goes like this: first, we create the concept development, then we go for prototyping, then we develop the product, we industrialize the product, or we move to operation, and then we do maintenance, and then uh, project retirement. We will retire the project. After a point, we need to say goodbye to that project. Let's say you have a old car, 1970s model. Will you get spare parts for this car? No, because the reason is it has reached its end of life. Now, no one in the business is obligated to provide you the spare parts. Are you clear? So now each stage will be done as a project, can be done as a project. For example, let's take development. So development will be done as a project. This stage of this product lifecycle can be done as a project. We initiate, we plan, we execute, uh, close, and we do monitoring and controlling. You see here, this is a stage in a product lifecycle, but that is done as a small project, a big project. Maybe here we are having retirement. So this can be done as a small project. We can inform, we can build enough spare stocks. We will notify all the suppliers, the service stations that that's it. How much you order you want, make it now, keep it in your stock. We are going to reach the end of life of this product. We won't support any spares further. If there are any warranty returns, we won't respond. We won't give any replacement. This alone can be done as a project. And after we move it to operations, people will come up with changes and enhancements. Now, we treat this as a change order. If the change order is very small, we go and talk to the project manager. These people will be working in some other project now. But because this change implementation is very small, and we go and talk to the previously the project manager who worked on this project previously, or his replacement, and say we need to do this, and this is kind of few weeks work, 3-4 weeks work. We need 3 people to work on this. Can you come up with an plan? Now this project manager will either extract some people from his current project, or go and talk to some other people, functional managers, and get those the people who worked on this project in the past, and assemble a small team. And we implement this as a change order, not change request. Change order. Change order is different from change request. Clear? If the change order is very small, then we can do a workaround. If it's a very big thing, we want to completely revamp this, we want to fully change this, then that will be done as a separate project. So we need to strike a balance. Are we going to deal with a change order or a new project? Is it clear now? Make sense? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Good, fine. Any other questions, learner? All good? Okay. What's the difference between a change order and a change request? A change order is something we receive from the customer side once the project is over. Okay. Now, a change request is something the team members or the stakeholders or the PM initiate to make changes to the project management plan. Wait till we cover integration module. There I will explain you the difference between a change request and a change order. Okay. The intention of a change request is to implement a change. The intention of a change order is to bring a business case into the picture. Want people to work, so you're gonna get some money. A change request is a way to formally integrate a change to the project management plan and its associated components. So primarily change request will modify the plan components. A change order will bring business. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next topic is PMI triangle. Now we'll take a break. Don't play the games which I shared with you. We will take a break now for 15 minutes and then we will continue the discussion from here. Any questions, any doubts so far? All good, fine? Then show me a thumbs up. Are you with me? Because I'm not seeing your face. So please let me know. Have any questions or doubts? Okay, great. Start the timer. Take 15 minutes break. Great, super. And we'll continue the discussion after the break. Thank you. I will be on mute and also I will switch off my camera. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back after the break. Hope you could see me, hear me. Is everything okay? Right. Can you please confirm in the chat? Okay, perfect. All right. Now, thank you everyone. Thanks for the confirmation. Now, this is just a just for information slide. PMI believes that if someone has to be a good project manager, they should excel in 3 areas. Okay, thank you. 3 areas. The first one is way of working. So way of working is nothing but core technical project management stuff. All right. So like how to prepare the schedule, budget, risk management, knowing about the project management tools, techniques, and methods. Then comes power. So this is all about process. Now this is about people. Um, Power skills are about how we manage people. Okay, that's why they are called power skills. These are interpersonal skills like leadership skills, negotiation skills, emotional intelligence, promoting team bonding, understanding the expectations of the stakeholders and managing their expectations. So that's about power skills. And that's why we get 42% of questions from people domain and 50% of questions from process domain. And the remaining 8% will come from business domain. That's about business acumen. So it's about understanding how projects are aligned with the organizational strategy goals and objectives. We make this alignment using the business case document, benefit management plan document, and using the organization KPIs and the project charter. Okay, a project manager should understand how projects influence the business and how certain business decisions influence the project. So that's about PMI talent triangle. And this is a very reason why we are assessed in 3 domains in the PMP exam. Are you clear why we have 3 domains in the PMP exam? All the 3 are very important Don't underestimate the business domain. Though you're going to get only 14 questions. If you're not going to score on proficiency, on target or above target, you might fail in the exam. If at all you scored good marks in process and people domain, if we don't do well in business domain, we have a risk. However, questions from people domain and business domain can be easily answered. All right. Now, this is an important topic. We're going to talk about development approaches and life cycles. If you take project management, we have many methods. One solution will not work out for every type of project. Projects are very unique. In some projects, we pretty much know everything in the beginning. In other projects, we need to discover the requirements on the go and build a product. And therefore, we have, you know, many types, types of way in which we do projects. Okay, we call them as development approaches and life cycles. Now I'm going to play your video. Probably if you have attended my previous sessions, you might have seen this video. Anyway, it will be a good refresher. Let's watch this video and then we will continue the discussion after the video. First, I need to. Okay, I hope you got some understanding about when to apply Agile. Is it clear? Normally, when you build something, when you do a project which is based on knowledge-based things like software development or research, conducting a marketing campaigns or studying about a black hole, we apply Agile because you can build things, demolish them, rebuild them. If you are doing this to a software development project, well, we really don't create any waste. But think about we doing this to a construction project. It will produce a lot of waste, right? So the best approach for a construction project is to discover or find all the requirements upfront and then do them using predictive development approach. Now, knowing this, let's dive in and learn a lot of things about development approaches in detail. First, if you take development approaches, primarily there are two. One is predictive. Predictive means we plan everything upfront and then we do execution. So initiation, closure. So this is about predictive. Now this is only suitable for projects where we have almost all the requirements are known and we don't have any problem with how to implement the solution. We know how to do this. For example, let's take a construction project. We pretty much know how to do a construction. So we plan everything up front and then we go for execution. For example, you want to construct a house, you know how big the house should be, the total built up area, the how many rooms you're going to have, how many floors you're going to have, the amenities, the color of the wall, flooring, where you're going to have the windows and doors. So everything is known. Now with this, we prepare a plan like the drawing, then we prepare the budget, we prepare the schedule and plan resources and do. This is the most optimal way to do a project. When you know all the requirements upfront, you know how to implement it, then better go with predictive. But every project won't be like this. We have complex and complicated projects where we won't be able to find out all the requirements upfront. Also, implementing the solution will be very complex. Therefore, we need Agile. And Agile is a broader term. Inside Agile, we have three different methodologies. We're going to learn about all these blocks in detail in the upcoming slides. We're just now discussing about the different types of development approaches we have. So first we have incremental, then iterative, then adaptive. So there are three. Okay. When it comes to incremental, we use this in projects where the solution complexity level is greater, which means the product is so big. So let's split this into small parts of work and implement each part as increment and assemble the whole product. So that's about incremental. Iterative is about discovering the requirements through feedback. Adaptive is a combination of incremental plus iterative. Don't worry, I'll give you a lot of examples and we will use an graphical illustration to understand these concepts in depth. And sometimes you will be in a position to combine predictive and agile to do a project. Let's say you have a project where you have four modules, big modules, and you found that, well, these two modules are pretty much clear. We know all the requirements and we know how to implement them. So you decide to do this project using predictive, but the problem is the other two modules are not that easy to implement. They are complex. Many of the requirements are missing. So if you apply predictive to do this project, you will be doing well with this first two features or components, modules. But predictive is not suitable where we need to discover the requirements and implement and create the solution. So it's not good for the other two modules. And if you apply agile, then it's okay for these two cases because um, we have two features or components, two components or modules, big modules. We have very less requirements. We know only few requirements about them. So we need to discover the requirements and therefore agile is fine. But why we need to apply agile for these two modules? They are very simple. The most efficient way to do them is plan everything and go for implementation. However, we don't have this situation here. We're gonna do a lot of planning, and that's a form of inefficiency. So agile is good for these two cases, but not for these two cases. Okay. And therefore, in this case, in this project, neither predictive nor agile is helping us. So we need a combination of predictive and agile. So we're going to do these two components or modules using predictive and the other two components using agile. Is there anything wrong in doing this? What's your opinion? Let me know in the chat. Is there anything wrong in doing this? Combining predictive and agile and doing a project? We feel that these two components are simple, so we're going to use predictive to do them. And these two components are, complex. We need to discover the requirements, so we're going to use agile. Okay, don't worry if you get the big picture. Stay relaxed. In next 20 minutes, you will be fine with this. So the point is, if you combine predictive and agile, you get hybrid. Now we're going to learn about all these things in detail: predictive, incremental, iterative, adaptive, and hybrid. Okay. Now for this, first we need to um, find out how we decide which development approach is suitable for a particular project. How to find this? We have something called Stacy matrix or model. It's a tool we use to find out which development approach is suitable for a given project. Now there are two aspects. There are two dimensions. There are two axes. The first axis is about technology. We can also call this as solution complexity. And the other axis is requirement uncertainty. Okay, so this is requirement uncertainty and this is solution complexity. Now, what is meant by requirement uncertainty? When you do a project, sometimes we know pretty much all the requirements. For example, you're constructing a house, we pretty much know what we're going to build, how big this house is going to be, how many floors, and the room sizes, the paint, everything is known to us. Do you agree with me? Or do you think that we need to discover the requirements? You're constructing a house for you. Don't you know that before we begin, don't you know that how big this house is going to be? How many rooms in first floor, in second floor, how big they are going to be? Yes, no, maybe. What's your opinion? Please let me know in the chat. Yes, no, maybe. We know this, right? So The requirements will be pretty much clear, and we can make a complete upfront planning. We can work on finding out how much money, time, resources needed, and do the work. So that's about requirement certainty level. In this case, we have very less requirement uncertainty. Let's take another project. For example, you are developing vaccine for COVID. Think about people who created vaccine for COVID. Do you think that they had all the requirements they needed to develop the vaccine? Yes, no, maybe. Or they discovered the requirements by doing experiments and trials. First, we prepared vaccine trial one. We used this vaccine on rats, rabbits, and then we found, okay, this is working out, this is not working out. So by doing trials and experiment, we discovered the requirements. What's your opinion? Do you agree with me? Show me a thumbs up. So in some cases, requirements won't be available. All right, agree. For example, you want to send a probe to moon. Um, we don't have much idea about. Let's say we are in 1950s. Okay, we have little knowledge about the moon, right? The gravity of the moon, how dense the surface of the moon, the atmosphere of the moon. Do you agree? Many requirements were not available, and that's why we failed many times to land on moon. So how we found the requirements? By failing. Do you agree with me? We do things, we study, we fail, we learn from them, and we discover all the requirements. This is not like constructing a house. All right. So pretty much all the requirements won't be available. If let's say your president is saying, let's build a rocket and send people to the moon. Now question is how to find out the gravity of the moon. Now we know, but think about 1950s. We have little idea about the atmosphere of the moon. Do you agree with me? Radiation level in the space and temperature. So we would have done so many trials and errors and experiments and found the requirements. So in some projects, this is the case. Okay, so are you clear with the projects with less requirement uncertainty and high requirement uncertainty? Is it clear? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, no, maybe. Give me a thumbs up. Are you clear? If you need more examples, let me know in the chat. If you need more examples, feel free to ask me. Okay, good. Now let's talk about solution complexity. Sometimes if you tend to implement something, we pretty much know how to do it. So we are not talking about what to do. What to do is about requirements. How to do it. For example, let's say you want to construct a house. I'm saying we pretty much know about concrete and cement. We've been constructing houses for centuries, so we know how to mix concrete, how to raise pillars and beams, how to paint the wall, how to do the wiring. Do you agree with me? Yes, no, maybe. You have processes, you have standards, you have methods, proven methods, you have people in the market who are skilled to do this work. We have know-hows. Do you have any surprise in constructing a house? What's your opinion? Or we don't know how to implement the solution. What's your opinion? We know pretty much about everything about construction. Do you agree with me? Yes, no, maybe? You can unmute and say or show me a thumbs up. So what's your opinion? Yeah, okay. Because only through your reactions I can understand are you with me or are you not able to understand, you need more help or support. Okay. So that's about solution complexity. So once you think that we know everything about this, we know how to do this. For example, once upon a time, donating blood is a unknown thing to human. Do you agree with me? We don't know about the blood groups. We don't know how to extract blood from one person and store it safely, and how to transport and give it to the other person. So many unknowns were there. In the past, donating blood is a complex thing, right? Now we have methods. We know how to take blood, how much quantity you can take from a person, how to store this, how to find out the group of the blood, everything is known. So most of the things which are simple to do today, once they were very complex. Do you agree with me? Now, what made things simple for us? Learning. Now we know everything. Once upon a time, developing a machine learning code is very complex, or AI code is very complex. Now we are implementing AI programs and softwares in lightning speed. Why? We have libraries. The other day I was checking, is it a way to do trading using algo? I can see that there are a lot of libraries available, Python libraries available. Have you ever investigated this area? You just need to write few lines of code to implement a massive complex algorithm. But 10 years before, we never had these libraries. We never had forums to ask queries about this. Do you agree with me? Yes, no, maybe. So now this is simple. Once upon a time, it was very difficult to implement. Are you clear? So solution complexity is about, do we have know-how, experience, methods, proven processes, skilled people to do this work? If so, we say simple. I want to construct a house. I can easily get people to construct my house. No big deal. What are complex projects? Projects with high level of solution complexity. For example, let's take airbag systems. You have airbag systems. Do you agree? In the cars. Do you know how quickly the airbags should inflate? We have some learners from automotive as well. So do you know how quickly we need to sense a crash and inflate the airbags? Roughly. Roughly, you can unmute and speak. You don't have to type. Just unmute and speak. 1 second, that's too late. It's close, but too late. 30 to 40 milliseconds. Very good. 1 by 20th of a second. Very close. Yeah, that's 50 millisecond. Yeah, 30 to 40 milliseconds. Hari is from automotive background. He also did his masters, right, in automotive. Yes, Hari.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to take just 30 to 40 milliseconds to inflate the airbag, even sometimes 25 milliseconds. Now, how people found this is the time window within which we need to inflate the airbag. Simple physics. You are traveling in a car, you put a sudden brake, how quickly we go and hit the steering wheel. So this can be found using physics. Do you agree? In high school we studied about inertia. Do you remember inertia? Yes, no, maybe. Inertia, momentum, force. So, yeah, right? Okay. So, if you have some mathematicians and physicists, if the car is moving at a certain speed, 100 miles per hour, and if there is an occupant and his or her body weight is around about, let's say, 135 pounds or something, how quickly this person will go and hit the steering wheel, knowing the distance between the steering wheel and the driver, and the speed, momentum of the car. We can calculate inertia. Now, we don't have to do that, but I'm just saying it's you can find this time window, right? If a person is traveling at this speed, he will go and hit the car steering wheel in less than 100 milliseconds. And therefore, we need to inflate the airbag before that. So we go with 50 milliseconds or 40 milliseconds. Do you agree? Yes, no, maybe. So requirement is very clear. Do you agree? Requirement is clear. We can easily find the requirement. But how to inflate something with less than 40 milliseconds, that almost 1 by 25th of a second? Do you think it's something easy to implement or it's a complex solution? What's your opinion? Complex, simple? It's very complex, right? So we spent 3 decades to develop the solution. We did a lot of experimentation to find out how to achieve this milestone. We use a lot of chemistry and physics. We fire some chemicals. We literally make an explosion in a controlled manner and produce nitrogen and so on, and then inflate the airbag. This is a very complex process. We need to do this in a very precise manner. And implementing such thing, developing such thing is a very complex. Requirements are there, but how to implement is unknown to us. Do you agree with me? Sorry, clear with projects with less requirement uncertainty, high requirement uncertainty, less project complexity, more project complexity, solution complexity. Are you clear with those examples? Or you need more examples? Let me know in the chat. I will give you more examples. Are you fine? This is a foundation to determine which development approach will work out for us. Okay, clear? Okay, fine. Now, so here we have project with less solution complexity. Here we have projects with high solution complexity. Here we have projects with high level of requirement uncertainty. And here we have projects with less requirement uncertainty. Now what we're going to do, we're going to draw a vector. You see like here, this line is a vector. Now we use expert judgment and we make an arc. If you have a project with minimum amount of requirement uncertainty, minimum is subjective. We say maybe 20-30%. Minimum level of requirement uncertainty and solution complexity. We pretty much know all the requirements and we know pretty much how to implement. For example, constructing a house. Then we call that project as a simple project. Are you clear? What is a simple project? Yes, no, maybe? Show me a thumbs up. I won't move forward until you say you are fine. Even if you're doubtful, ask me a question, please. Okay, simple project. As we progress further, travel in this vector further, we enter into the region of complicated projects. So these are complicated projects. So if you look at the table, a simple project is one which has less amount of requirement uncertainty and less amount of solution complexity. Okay. Now, when it comes to complicated projects, there are two categories, category 1 and category 2, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is about a project with less requirement uncertainty. You see here, we have a project which is something like this. Very less requirement uncertainty, but the complexity is very high. You see this one? And we have another type where the solution complexity level is very less. You see, the solution complexity level is very less, but requirements, many requirements are missing. This is type 2. So both are complicated projects. So type 1, less requirement uncertainty, we're talking about this guy. Okay, type 1. Very less requirement uncertainty, very less, but solution complexity is greater. When it comes to type 2, we have pretty much simple solution to implement. Solution complexity level is very less, but the lot of requirements missing. So that's about type 2. So here we have high to medium level of requirement uncertainty, but solution complexity level will be very less. So are you clear with type 1 and type 2 complicated projects? Yes, no, maybe? Okay.
Ahmed, would you mind giving a small example for both types?
Definitely. That's what we're going to do in the next 4 slides, 5 slides.
Okay. Sure. Thanks.
Now we will only understand the attributes, and then we use a very detailed example for each case and learn them in detail. Okay. So if you have a simple project, do it using predictive. Plan everything up front and do it, implement it. If you have complicated project, type 1, then use increment. Requirement uncertainty level is less, but solution complexity is greater. Don't worry, I will give you a lot of details about each type in next 20 minutes. Don't worry, trust me. Then we have type 2. This is about project where you have high level of requirement uncertainty, but very less solution complexity. We know how to implement this, but many requirements are missing. Then we go for iterative approach. Then the third thing is complex projects. Complex projects are here. You see this gray? So as we further travel in this vector, we enter into the region of complex projects. These are very challenging projects. Here we will have both the challenges. Here we will have high amount of requirement uncertainty level. You see from this is 0, this is 100 percentage requirement uncertainty. We pretty much have 80 percentage unknown requirements. And solution complexity is also super high. Now this project comes under complex category. High level of requirement uncertainty and solution complexity. We need to do this project using adaptive. As we go further, we enter into the region of chaos. The moment you realize that this is a chaos project, don't do this project. Organizations will not undertake such projects because they know that they're going to fail. No development approach will help us. So it's better to cancel this. Unless until if you're Elon Musk, you can try these projects. Elon Musk used to do all these projects. You agree with me? Yeah? He does these kind of projects. For example, rockets returning back to Earth. Yes, no, maybe. He almost went bankrupt. SpaceX almost went bankrupt, right? Do you agree with me? They failed in four attempts, 3 attempts. They were on the verge of bankruptcy, but somehow they succeeded. No, but normal organizations will not have this much guts to do. So another example for chaos project is building power reactors using hydrogen fusion. Do you agree? Yeah. Do you agree? In 1950s, people told we will have power generators using hydrogen fusion in next 10 years. Then people asked them in 1970s, they told in 1980s we will have. People asked them in 2000, they told in 2010 we'll have. Now people are recently interviewed, they told they will take another 10 years to come up with. This is an example for chaos project. Are you clear what is a chaos project? Unless until you are backed by the government, funded by the government, and doing this for satisfying your country's ego, don't do this kind of projects. Normally, business people don't engage in such projects. They will say bye bye, goodbye. They don't do such projects. Are you clear? So that's about chaos projects, a very high requirement uncertainty and solution complexity. Yes, Hari, any questions, please?
Yeah, I have a question on this chaos project. What if market conditions are forcing companies to take up chaos projects if they want to ensure business sustainability?
Reward recognition, reward versus risk versus reward,
Okay.
factor. So normally chaos projects will come up with a lot of risk, but if you succeed, you're gonna see a huge reward. For example, ChatGPT is an example for chaos project which was successfully done. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even now, Google is struggling to come up with AI equivalent to ChatGPT. Even
Yes.
Microsoft accepted to use ChatGPT as their API. They didn't create anything new. This is close to impossible, but somehow OpenAI accomplished this. So this is an example for chaos project. Do you agree? Quantum computing. Yeah, this is an example for chaos project. The driving factor is reward versus risk. The more risk you have, the bigger the reward. Now you see ChatGPT monopolized, 50 billion, $100 billion company. Yeah. Okay. So if you have the urge, the risk appetite to pursue a bigger project with hyper risk, fundamentally risky projects, in the anticipation of bigger reward, you can go for this. But it's kind of a very risky business. Okay.
Isn't it the same with electric vehicles also? Like, for example, these legacy automakers are still struggling to take the competition with Tesla or BYD.
Possible. I think I'm from automotive. People underestimated the power of EV, electrical vehicle. That's my opinion. So implementing an EV car is not something very complex. Of course, a lot of engineering to be done, but it's doable only. But people underestimated that nobody will buy an electrical car. Probably the look of the car. Earlier, people did electrical cars, but they were not appealing aesthetically.
Yeah.
Elon Musk came up with a more appealing car. So it's more than a chaos project. It's not a chaos project, in my opinion. It's more about it's implementable.
Yeah.
People already did, but they didn't market it well. They didn't understand the expectations of the customer. Earlier, people built these cars like a toy car, and so people had the stigma. Electrical cars are meant for play,
Yeah.
and they cannot be used. Okay, that was broken by Elon Musk, and I think it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
Induction motor, battery system, battery. This is doable, but not a chaos project. Yeah, in my opinion. But automation, automatic driving, autonomous driving is close to impossible chaos project. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome. And we also need to consider other attributes. This is not very important for the exam. Before selecting a project, we need to check whether this project is suitable for agile way of working. First, the culture. Many organizations don't trust the people. They don't offer buy-in to offer to use agile. What do you say? Are we going to begin a project without knowing all the requirements? No way. Are you saying you need to empower the people to make decisions? No way. We are kind of a company. We do command and control. We decide what people has to do. We give them directions, but you are saying we need to let people to make the decision. We are not fine with this. So that's about the culture part. If your organization is not encouraging agile way of working, we need to give up. Second is team. If you are running an agile project, this means we are going to do a knowledge based work, conducting a marketing campaign, studying about a black hole, or doing a space research, or developing a vaccine. Knowledge based work. You're going to have a handful of smart people, engineers, developers, scientists, physicists working in your project. Do you think if you go and instruct them, do this, do that, will they like, appreciate? No, we need to let them to decide things, right? So when it comes to agile projects, team is very important. Have the right team. You cannot have so many people in the team. Uh, the maximum number of people you can have in an agile team is not more than 9 people. That's the maximum number of people you can have. If the project demands more than 9 people, we need to split the project into more than one project. Now, why we need to go not more than 9 people? Because in Agile, we follow something called self-organizing teams. We let people to decide how they want to do the work. Now, if you have more people, people will have trouble in reaching consensus. For example, let's say you are 4 people, you guys are close friends. You guys are discussing, let's go for a movie tonight. Okay? You are, I mean, you're doing your college and you and your friends are planning to go for a movie. There are 4 people in your group you guys are discussing, including you 5. There are 2, 3 options, and then you guys discuss and reach agreement. Okay, let's go to movie A. This is achievable or not achievable? Let's say one of your friend proposed movie A, you proposed movie B, another person proposed movie C. You guys are discussing and reaching an agreement. Yeah, possible. Because you are just 5 people. Let's say there are like 35 people in a batch. You guys are deciding where shall we go. Do you think it's easy for you guys to reach agreement? It's very difficult to reach agreement. Do you agree? Do you, yes, no, maybe? It's very difficult to reach consensus. Yeah, it's very difficult. So that's why we need to limit. If you're going to tell people, you guys decide. You have some 5 scientists, 3 engineers working on developing a spacecraft. Now we need to let them to make the decisions. How they're going to go about the design, and how they're going to do the implementation. Yes, Geetika, please. Have a question?
Yeah, Ahmed, just one question. When we have a kind of work where we are creating, we are putting the agile methodology and dividing the work into 3 or 4 teams, not to the individual. Is it also agile method or it's a project division?
It's
We
an
should
agile
call it.
method. Agile method.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a bigger project, split the project into um, multiple projects and make sure you don't have more than 9 people in the project. If you try to do a agile project with a lot of people, people will never reach agreements. Remember this, okay? So that's about the team. Have the right team size, have experienced people, and make sure your project approach does not demand compliance. For example, let's say you're building a MRI scanning machine, all right? These things are regulated by a lot of safety and health related guidelines from the government, isn't it? So, if you say we will build the MRI machine and we let people to get scanned and we will learn from our mistakes and improve, do you think government will approve this, your machine? This is not permitted, right? So, when there's compliance, safety regulations, we cannot go for trial and error. Government would say, authorities would say, you build the stuff, design, come to us. We will review. Don't come to us with incomplete design or only design of a particular component or module. We need the entire design. We want to review it. If we feel like your design is in compliance with all the safety and regulatory norms and standards, we approve your design. Then you can go for construction. Once your construction is over, you need to bring this machine back to us. We will review it. We will do validation, or you need to submit a validation report, and we will sign off. Only then we will permit you to sell this equipment. So in such cases, you cannot apply agile. Are you clear? How can you build the complete design? This means you need all the requirements. Do you agree? Yes, no, maybe. So you cannot go and build something, come back, modify it, come back. So this is not going to work out in such cases. Yes, Shilpa, yeah, please.
One question here. But in like in Agile, right? Scrum is an Agile process, is an Agile framework, comes under
Yes.
Agile. Right?
Yeah.
But while creating the product and whatever the mandatory compliance norms are there, they have to be mentioned under the definition of done, like DOD,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah.
While creating an increment.
Yeah.
So, don't you think so that all these medical things like ISO certified and etc. and many other things comes under DOD things like increment has to follow this DOD and increment is valuable or releasable only when I mean the items are being done like marked as done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can follow it agile, I guess. No.
So let's say if you are having a definition of done, and if this says that the design need to be approved by the government agency, okay, that's the definition of done. Now, let's say you do not have pretty much all the requirements. How can you come up with the increment which meets the acceptance criteria captured inside the definition of done without doing experiments and trials? How this is possible? Now, this is meant for predictive. In predictive also, we will have acceptance criteria. We build the system and we show the design, get it approved. Once we have the approval for the whole design, we go for implementation. Now the question is, how can you build the whole design to get it approved? For this, the prerequisite is requirements. Do you agree? Now, fulfilling the acceptance criteria is there in both predictive and agile. But the question is, iterative way of development is not permitted in safety critical products. Clear?
Okay. Okay, but in that case, you can say that the first designing of the product, I mean, medical equipment is predictive, but adding a feature in a product, this thing is agile, can be agile.
Um, maybe it can come under agile. But give me some time. You will get a clear understanding about iterative way of working, agile way of working in some time compared to predictive. Then maybe you will be able to. I will be able to understand your question, or maybe your question might get addressed. Uh, you know.
Yes.
Uh, by the upcoming slides. Okay. Yeah. Give me some
Uh,
time. And
Sure.
after we finish the next 4 5 slides, we will again open this topic. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the other attributes we need to consider before we select a development approach. Okay. Whether it's good for agile or not. Now let's understand the predictive way of working. If we take predictive way of working, we this is for predictive development approach. Okay. We first initiate the project, and then we do complete upfront planning. We gather all the requirements, we define the scope, we do the budget preparation, we create the baselines, we do the implementations, and then once the plan is fully ready, we call this as the project management plan. So it will have everything inside it: schedule, scope, cost, risk, quality, procurement, everything. We'll talk more about procurement management plan in the future. Once the plan is fully ready, we know what we're going to do, how much time we're going to use, money we're going to use, resource we're going to use. Once these things are clear, we begin with the execution. So complete upfront planning followed by one shot execution. Are you clear how we do a predictive project following predictive development approach? Are you clear? Now, if you want to do a planning like this, the prerequisite is you should know all the requirements. Do you agree? So pretty much all the requirements should be available. Also, we should know how to implement this. That means solution complexity level should be very less. For example, I'm going to construct a house. I know all the requirements, how big the house should be, how many rooms, how tall, how many floors, all the amenities. Now I make a plan, a complete upfront planning. We spend weeks or even months of time to prepare this plan. Until we complete the plan, we don't go for execution. So that's about predictive way of working. Is it clear? And during execution, we do monitoring and controlling just to make sure everything is going according to the plan. Let's say you're traveling from point A to point B. So your destination is around about 500 miles far, and you found that to reach this place you need let's say 7 hours. This means you're going to drive around about 80 miles per hour. Okay, that's your speed. So this is your plan. If I drive at 80 miles per hour for next you know uh, 7 hours, I would reach the destination. Now something has happened during in your journey, on your journey. For example, heavy traffic, poor weather condition or road condition. Because of this, there's a delay. Now what we will do, we'll first try to check, are we going according to the plan? No, we are behind the schedule. So what you do, either you drive the car a little faster, maybe at 100 miles per hour to cover up the delay. Do you agree? Yes, no, maybe. Or we call people who are waiting at the destination and tell them, hey, I won't reach there at 5 p.m. I will reach there at 6:30. I just want to keep you informed. So what we are doing here, either we are changing the way how we execute things by driving the vehicle a little faster, or what we do, we um, change the plan itself. We call up people who are waiting at the destination and tell them, I don't reach there at 5, I will reach there at 6:30. This is about monitoring, controlling. So we always check whether things are going according to the plan. If they are not, then we have a variance. That means we have a problem. We are spending more money than the planned budget. We're taking more time to complete the work than the estimated duration. You have a variance, then we are supposed to take corrective action to either improve the way how we execute things, or we change the plan itself. Are you clear the purpose of monitoring and controlling? Yes, no, maybe? Show me a thumbs up. We do monitoring controlling after we begin execution. So it's about ensuring the execution is going according to the plan. Any doubts, any questions? Okay, perfect. All good, clear? Okay, perfect. So that's about the predictive way of working. Okay. So once the execution is done, yeah.
Yeah, actually, for in terms of regulation project, but we don't have any option to um, postpone the end deadline. So we need to finish it up, if irrespective of whether we have the issue during the execution, right?
When it comes to compliance, we cannot deliver something with error. It's not possible. For example, let's say you want to build a a safety device. Okay. Now, before we begin the execution, we must get the approval. Let's take a construction. Without making the complete design, do you think your plan will be approved? What's your opinion? Think about this. You're doing a construction. That's a very simple example. Why your construction plan should be reviewed and approved by the government authorities before you begin the construction. This is a very good example. Forget about MRI machine. Please express yourself. So why why government expect us to, you first come up with a full drawing, blueprint. We call this blueprint, right? And without this reviewed and approved by the government authorities, local officials, we cannot begin the construction. Now, can we produce, submit a design and do something else, construct something else? Is it permitted?
No. So it should be as per the plan, and
Now, why this is done? Because there are safety. They will check whether, okay, you're going to construct a 3-story building. How about the foundation? Is it sufficient enough? If you say we will progressively elaborate this, they won't accept. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't
and that's
accept.
why
they need to analyze some soil again to go
with
some additional.
They will ask for soil report. Did the soil report testing? Show us. Will this soil will bear this much amount of weight on it? Show me that. If so, this is not going to work out. Change the design. We won't approve this. Do you have safety mechanisms? If you're going to have a lift, then these are the XYZ criteria you need to fulfill. Show me the proof. Are you using safety mechanisms? Emergency braking system, is it there? They will review everything. Once they're convinced, they will approve you to begin the construction. So all these things will happen during planning. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
You need to know exactly what you're going to do. Then it will be approved. Only then you will be permitted to begin the construction. Now this is part of compliance. So in this case, if you say we will progressively change things, maybe now we think 2 rooms we will add, maybe another room, then we may or may not construct a new floor. We had to decide this. We build something, then we will discover, then we will demolish and reconstruct. This is not going to work out. This is because you need to first present the drawing, and everything should be there, and that should be approved. Only then you can begin the construction. Now, to prepare the complete drawing, what is the prerequisite? How can you prepare the complete drawing? Sorry.
We need to have all the
requirements
in place. In place. So to complete the drawings.
Exactly. So that's why we don't prefer agile. We don't prefer agile way of doing things when it comes to compliance. Okay. Yeah. There's a question from Amit. Yes, Amit.
Yeah, hi Amit. So as you said, like let's take an example of the construction. We are constructing in a house or a building, and we need approval from the government. So let's say, as you said, like when we have some kind of time constraints or this like we do the monitor and control during the execution phase, right? So at the time of planning, we have to do the risk register, right? So we have to foresee the risk, and then during the execution phase, we ought to see these kind of risks coming in front in during the execution phase. So during the predictive approach, we have to do this risk register in ahead of execution, right?
Both in predictive and agile, we will prepare the risk register. However, risk identification will happen progressively in agile. The more the requirements you discover, more risks will be identified. For example, you're hosting a dinner party. You don't know who and all gonna come. So after the guest visit your place, you found that two of them are patients with diabetes. Now you need to order them some special food. Do you agree? So after we know more requirements, we will learn more about the project risks. So this is normal in Agile. More the requirements you discover, we study them to discover more risks. In predictive, because pretty much all the requirements are available, you can do a thorough study of all the available requirements, and most likely we will identify most of the project risk upfront and manage them proactively. Are you clear?
But let's say in during the construction of a building or something, we cannot predict the cost of the materials keeps changing, right? So let's say the steel and iron or all those things are subject to market conditions, and they may vary accordingly during the several phases. So how does we tackle those kind of changes?
So first thing is it's a very comfortable thing to do risk management with predictive. The reason is now you know that you want to buy steel, right? That will be clear. How much
Right, yeah.
quantity you want to buy, that will be clear because requirements are clear, scope is clear. So you know how much steel you're going to buy, what grade of steel you're going to buy. Now, after knowing this, you know the requirements. You can do easily risk analysis. So you can check in the past 10 years, this particular raw material, steel, grade steel, fluctuated how much? How much influence was there on this material price because of inflation? With this, you can make a forecast and do risk assessment. Do you agree? For
Yes,
example,
yeah.
considering last 8 years assessment, inflation assessment, this material was influenced by 8 percentage inflation rate year on year. Now, we believe this is going to continue in the future. Therefore, let's keep a contingency reserve of X amount of money in the cost baseline. So it's very comfortable to do risk assessment when you know what you're going to do. Now, let's say you're doing a project where you don't know what material you're going to buy, how much you might need, what grade you would need. Now, the moment you discover this information later, you need to work on risk management. So that is more challenging. Do you agree with me? That's what will happen in
Uh,
Agile.
okay. Okay, right. So it's more transparent, I would say, in predictive, right? That's
In
what you're saying.
predictive.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Okay. Now let's talk about Agile way of working. Hari, yes, you have a question, please.
Yeah, sorry. I have a peculiar case because when I was working in Chennai, we had a business division that undertook public sector projects.
Okay.
In these projects, I know all the requirements, and I also am aware of all the technology, how to arrive at the final product. But what happens is the project is won through bidding, and there is one risk there. Maybe we get a not really valuable project for a huge price and or less margin, and also there is an aspect of fee for late delivery of the project,
Okay.
and this business unit is always delivering late, and so it's kind of we are giving the end product and also we are paying fines so on top of the product.
Yeah.
So it's giving it away for free and also paying the fine.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with this scenario, or where do you think the gap is?
First, the kind of contract you have signed.
Okay.
It's possible that the customer has carefully transfer the risk to your side. Okay.
Okay.
Some people will do this. You have to be very
Mm-hmm.
careful. So
Okay.
in this case, most likely you people have signed for a fixed price contract. So this is
Yeah.
a contract type used by customers to know transfer the risk to the supplier side.
Okay.
Now, you should not sign this kind of contracts if you see a lot of uncertainty in the work. Maybe
Okay.
because if it's because you delayed the delivery because of your inefficiency. That's a different
Mm.
thing. We are supposed to obligated to pay the penalty. Let's say the
Yeah.
work itself complex, and we didn't properly estimate the duration. Somehow, the client forced you to sign, or we know that the prices of raw materials will fluctuate, but still you agreed for fixed price contract. Now,
Okay.
in this case, your client probably uh, you know strategically transfer the risk to your side by making you guys to sign a fixed price contract. You should have not signed for fixed price contract. You should have signed for cost reimbursable type contract. That's a way
Okay.
to prevent the strategy. Okay.
Because these are mostly PSU projects, for example, ONGC or ISRO. And
Yeah.
if we don't sign such contracts, we don't get the project. And just
Yeah.
because we have to have these customers on our portfolio, they take these projects.
Exactly. This is why your client will see a opportunity to exploit you.
Okay.
Normally, organizations won't be okay to sign fixed price
Mm-hmm.
contract, a supplier, but certain companies, customers will get positional power. Your situation is not good. They are in a better position situation to demand you to agree, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's how people force suppliers to sign for firm fixed price contract. Otherwise, we won't sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably
Thank you.
this was the case in your in the previous project. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Now let's say we're gonna talk about the three um, adaptive approaches. Okay, agile approaches. First is incremental. Incremental is meant for projects where you have a lot of solution complexity, but the requirements are pretty much clear. Okay, the requirement uncertainty level is almost nil. Requirement uncertainty level is almost nil. All good, all good. But solution complexity is hyper. Now, what shall we do? Let's take this project example. We are working on developing an online banking website. All right. So this website has so many features: money transfer, monthly, bank statement download, checking the balance, secure login, mobile notification, adding payee, and so on. So will you do all these features in one shot? Is it a good strategy, or you do one step at a time? Let's take this training. We have so many things to cover. We are starting with foundation. Then once we are done with foundation, we are working on scope. We learn everything about scope. Then we move on to learn about scheduling. So one step at a time, that's the best strategy, isn't it? So if you have so many components in your product, if your product is so big, it has so many components inside it, it's better to split it into small parts and work on each of those parts, complete them and deliver. That's a good strategy. So this will help us to reduce complexity. We know what and all we need to cover. The requirement is clear. So in this training, we need to complete all the topics we have inside the exam content outline. But we know this is complex, so we are doing one step at a time. We finish foundation, then scope, then schedule. So whenever something is complex, that's how we do, one step at a time. Even if you take high school mathematics, first we'll finish set language, then we go for algebra, then trigonometry, then analytical geometry. Can you recall? If you try to teach everything in the first chapter itself, people will get panic, intimidated. So that's exactly what we're going to do when you have a project with a lot of complexity, solution complexity. When you split the total product into small components, it will be very easy for us to manage the complexity of the project. Now we split this into many small increments. So this is the final product we want, the banking website. Now we split this into many increments. This could be your, account summary, application or feature. This is money transfer feature. This is a secure login. This is a mobile notification and mobile notification. This could be maybe we say this as adding a pay and so on. Now we will work on each item individually. We say to the team, forget about all other features. Now let's work only on account summary, how to showcase how much money balance the user has in his or her account. We'll only focus on that. So here we don't have any problem with the requirements. Requirements are available. So we collect all the requirements for account summary feature. We analyze and document them. We design this feature once for all. Okay, now going back and forward and backward. We design this feature once for all, and then we go for implementation, coding. Okay, implement the code again once for all. Then we test it thoroughly. Boom, we deliver. You see here, we have no problem with the requirements. For all the features, requirements are available. Only thing is the product is complex. So we split the product into small increments, and we work on each increment individually, deliver them, and then we work on the next increment. So let's take the second feature. We again do the same. We collect the requirements, we design, we code, test, boom, we deliver. Now, if you see, an incremental development approach is collection of many small predictive development approach. Do you agree with me? In predictive, we try to implement the whole product in one shot. Yeah, but here we split this into many small pieces of work, and for each work we're going to apply predictive. So that's about incremental development approach. Are you clear with incremental development approach? Any question? Yes, no, maybe. Are you clear with incremental, or you need more explanation, example? Kindly let me know. Yes, Silpa. Yes, please.
After the first delivery, let's say we are going for the account summary. So for the account summary, we have this one request, and under that we have completed this request, and we have completed at the first increment. Now this increment has to be given to the customer.
That depends on your release plan.
Okay, so in incremental, don't we give any kind of an increment to the customer so that they can give us a feedback or something? No, we don't.
Yes, yeah, we need to do it. There are two types of delivery. One is periodic delivery. This means we will set a periodicity. We'll work for 1 month time window. In this time window, how many increments we do, we deliver that by end of the month. This is one mode. Second mode is continuous deployment. That is, as soon as we finish a feature, we add it to the give it to the handover to the customer. So it depends on what kind of release plan you have. Both are possible. It's about the agreement you made with your client. Is it clear?
Yeah.
In some cases, yeah. As soon as we finish a feature, we add it to the production. This is continuous deployment. We call this as continuous deployment. If you're going with the
feedback also. So there's a continuous feedback also.
Yes, of course. That's the there are two benefits.
Yeah, so for that feedback in the next cycle, when we are taking the next increment, that is money transfer, so are we going to use that feedback and going to implement that feedback in the first increment, I mean in the first account summary, and we relaunch it, or we merge it into the money transfer increment?
So that's about iterative approach. Okay. In this case, iterative approach, not incremental. We'll discuss this now.
What to do with the feedbacks? I mean, if
normally in this case, we won't get any feedback because here the requirements are pretty much clear. Okay, so when you use build something with all the available requirements, During testing or review, we will find all these things. Once it is done, we will deliver. Maybe you can also add in stage for review. And once we have the formal acceptance for this increment, we will deliver. Now, um, in there's another scenario where we start the work with only a few requirements. Let me show you in this next slide. Let's say let's take this example. Now, what you are saying is exactly this one, iterative development approach. Let's say you want your client is asking you, I want to come up with this blue whale art. Okay, this is a final product, but I don't know all the requirements. I want you to build this for me, but I have only 30% of the total requirements with me now. So this is what I have. Don't ask me for everything. Now you build something with this and come to me. So you did this, and now you're presenting this to the client for review. Now the client will review the work and provide you feedback. Now this feedback will help us to discover more requirements. Maybe you will learn another 20% of requirements. We add this 20% of newly discovered requirements to the previous version of the product. We make it more refined. So you get this version. Again, we do the demo. We discover the requirements and more requirements, maybe this time additional 20%. Again, we do the demo. So we repeat this process until we are done with all the unknown requirements. Now, in this case, feedback is very crucial because requirements are not available. We need to discover the requirements through feedback. In a in an incremental approach, this is the assumption is I don't have to discover the requirements because I pretty much know everything to build this increment. Now, there is a combination of um, iterative and incremental. To build every increment, we need feedback. So that is about adaptive. Are you clear, Shilpa? We will talk about that in the next slide.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Geetika, yes, please let me know your question.
Yeah, Emma. So the question is for the last slide, incremental approach. Again, so just wanna see one example like for this approach. Like, for an example, if we are creating some product, we have a requirements, everything, and we are just creating some products in a different increments or different slots, but when we have some of the product failure or the quality issue or whatever, we are not actually delivering what is expected. So is it going to the next increment, or how this approach goes with this kind of stuff? Or
Valid
if you have
question.
better example for that.
Yeah, so this is the same thing what what Shilpa asked me, and this is very valid. That's why we have adaptive development approach. Okay, I will show adaptive after we cover iterative development approach. Okay.
So
Um,
basically,
the,
in incremental, we don't entertain the change in the
yeah,
increment. We
in the
don't.
increment we don't. So
Okay.
this is same as predictive. Okay, let's say after the house is delivered, we don't do any changes to the house. It's delivered means delivered. We get the sign off and deliver,
Uh,
and we don't do much changes to the house, delivered house. Okay.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about iterative development approach. This is used when you have very less solution complexity. Solution complexity is very less, so I don't have to split the product into small increments. However, requirement uncertainty level is so high. So your client approached you, hey buddy, I need to build a blue whale art. Of course, we won't do a project for a blue whale art. To visualize how iterative development approach add values to the final product, I created this example. Now, don't ask me for all the details. I don't know. So I have few requirements with me. I have only 30% of requirements with me. With this, you build something and come to me. I will review it and provide you more details. So you did the same. You build something with what we know, and then we demonstrated the work, and then we got the feedback. Feedback is about learning. So we discover more requirements, and once we know more requirements, we again put it back inside the requirements document. So let's say this time we understood 25% of the requirements. Now again we're gonna use this additional requirements to make the product much better, the previous version of the product. Again we do the demo. So this time we discover additional requirements through feedback, maybe another 25%. Now we repeat the whole process. The third time we discover the remaining 20% of requirements. Now we got all the 100% of requirements. Are you clear? So this is about iterative development approach. So we did this first, then we got some feedback. Based on that, we improved the previous version into this. Again, we did the same process. We received more requirements through feedback. And every time the product is getting better. So this is called as product evolution. So the product is going through an evolution through discoveries and learning, or inspection and adaptation. So once you reach this stage, when you present this work to the client, your client is going to say, well, that's pretty much what I need. I don't have anything to say extra. So I'm accepting this deliverable product, and thank you so much. And I'm ready to make the payment. Now, how this is different from incremental. In incremental, we had no problem with the requirements. Do you agree? We split the work and do, but we had no problem with the requirements. But in this case, we have problem with the requirements, but we are not splitting the work. For example, it makes sense to deliver work only on the fins or the tail or the eye. It makes sense. In a banking software, if you complete money transfer feature, you can deliver to the client. Client can use it. But if you deliver only the fin, will that make any sense to the client? Let's say you're building a aeroplane for your customer. Okay. Let's say you deliver the left wing alone. Will that make any sense? What your client can do with that left wing or right wing or the tail alone? Make sense? So this is a kind of a product which cannot be splitted. Split cannot be split. Are you clear? What is meant by incremental iterative development approach? Is it clear?
I'm pretty much clear with the requirement, but as we speak, like the solution complexity, it's something proportional to the technology, right? So let's
Yeah.
say if you're in the iterative, as you said, we get continuous feedback and it goes to the loop and we do the refinement. So during that time when we do the demo, like we are still uncertain about the technology that we have to use in the future analysis or future integration or test, right?
Yeah.
So how can we say that the solution complexity is very much less in iterative?
Now, so the thing is, for example, here, you know how to make an art. Let's take this example. But thing is, so the method of preparing an art is known, but the requirements are known. Let's say you are a programmer. I'm not sure whether you're from programming background. Let's say you're a
Yeah.
programmer. Okay. Are you from programming background?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now let's say you are from C++ programming. Okay. You know how to develop C++ code. So the method of
Mm-hmm.
developing software is clear. You know about the programming language, you know about the IDE, you know about the compiler, assembly, everything. So the method is
Yes.
clear. Are you clear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the client is not able to tell you what exactly he needs. He's saying, build something for me and let me see the feature. I will inspect it and I will let you know what additional you need to do to it. You have no problem in writing code. You know everything about C++. You have the IDE, you have the compiler, debugger. You have no problem with that. So that's what we say. Solution complexity level is very less. You know how to do it. No hubs are available, but requirements are not available. That's about iterative development approach. Is it clear now?
Okay. So let's say if I'm building a product, or let's say I'm delivering a feature to the customer, and the customer just reviewed and said that, okay, this is fine, but I just want to, like make it in such a way that it should be more like it should be more, productive or something like that. So he doesn't want the way which we used. So he wanted us to try something else. Let's say if you are not doing C++ or he wants us to try Python or something else. So
Yeah.
there comes the challenge, right? So there the complexity increases. So we cannot
Again,
use
the question is, you know about Python coding, libraries are available. So we say
right.
we are just changing the requirements again. Instead of language A, go to language B. Okay, based on some discoveries, client is recommending. But do you have any problem in writing Python coding? You get people, you have courses, you have library files, you have know-hows, you have compiler. So we say there's not a problem.
Oh, well, it's already there in the requirements, right? So we define it in the requirements. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I hope you're clear with iterative. Now, what if you have both the challenges? Iterative should be only called as iterative, Ashita. Okay. Iterative means iterative. Now let's talk about adaptive development approach. Let's say you have a project where you have both the challenges. Normally, you will have this kind of projects in real life. The room or the opportunity to apply predictive and incremental and iterative are very less in real life. So normally we use adaptive, adaptive development approach. Now you have a project where you have both the challenges. I have high amount of requirement uncertainty is greater. Also solution complexity level is greater. Now to manage solution complexity level, what we did, we split the total work into small parts. Do you agree with me? Yes, no, maybe? That's about incremental, right? Always remember, if you're talking about incremental, we are using the technique split. We split the work. In case if you have requirement uncertainty challenge, then we use feedback. We use feedback mechanism to discover the requirements, review and feedback. Now, if you have both the challenges in a project, what shall we do? We're gonna use both. So this is about iterative. This is about incremental. All right. Now, if you combine incremental and iterative, you get adaptive. Let's go from back. This is your deliverable, final deliverable. It's complex. Solution complexity is high. So we split this into three major increments. Okay. So once these three items are done, we can assemble them to form the final product. So therefore, this is about incremental. However, as Shilpan and Geetika asked, to build these increments, what if we do not have all the requirements? After we complete the work, don't we need to review this with the key stakeholders? What if they propose some changes later? How to work on that? That's exactly adaptive development approach is about. You see here, we first start with in incremental, we had all the requirements, but in this case, we let's say have only 30% of requirements. So we build something with the 30% requirements. We code it, we test it, we demonstrate this to the client. You see, we did not have this one in predictive. Can you in incremental? Can you see? It's missing. Yes, no, maybe. Can you please show me a thumbs up? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, but here we don't need it because we know all the requirements. But think about this situation. You have only 30% requirements to build this particular increment. So with that, we build something same as this blue whale. Okay. And we demonstrate the work to the client. We got feedback. And with that, we, gain more understanding. So another 20% requirements are discovered. And then again, we repeat the whole process. We increase the more details, the amount of details we have in the increment. Again, we do the demo, we seek feedback. This time we discovered additional 30% of requirements. In the fourth iteration, we found the remaining 20% requirements. So therefore, it took 4 iterations for us to feedback loops to build the increment completely. We repeat this in every case. And here, if you see, we have both feedback mechanism in place. Also, we are doing things in increment. That's why we say adaptive is a combination of incremental and iterative. Feedback means iterative. Incremental means split means incremental. When you combine feedback plus incremental, you get adaptive. And this is needed when you have both the challenges. Both requirement uncertainty level is greater, also solution complexity level is greater. Are you clear what is meant by adaptive? It makes sense when to use adaptive. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Any yes? Any doubts, any questions? Shilpa,
Yeah,
are you clear with this? It makes sense to you? Geetika?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great. So
I
this
have,
is what Agile is all about. Okay, yeah, Hari?
yeah. So in a scenario where my customer is working in agile teams, so they have like they work on incremental approach,
Okay.
and I am making a component for them,
Hmm.
and I work in conventional waterfall method of project management,
Okay.
and this customer is frequently changing the requirements, say like some dimensions or tolerances in the drawings, and they want, like, take something for example, like on a weekly basis they're asking me to revise my drawing.
Okay.
So how do I approach this scenario, or how should I change my project management approach?
So first you need to use the Stacy model. Okay. You need to
Okay.
use Stacy model to first declare
Hmm?
many requirements will change. If so,
Yeah.
um, or many requirements are unknown. If so, waterfall, that is also called as traditional or predictive,
Yeah.
is not suitable. So that's the
Okay.
measure you would have taken to prevent this situation. In case if you are experiencing this, then we need to talk to the management and to the customer and change the methodology. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah. So either the client should give you stable requirements. Here and there we can make accommodate some changes, but if the client is keep on changing things, then we cannot do that project using predictive. Is it clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we
Thank
have
you.
questions from Geetika, also from Duraraj. Yes, Geetika, you can ask your question.
Yeah, yeah, Ahmed. So I just wanted to check one thing. Do we have any methodology where, just this, for an example, this adaptive method, if we have any feedback or the process where we need to do some correction on the product we are delivering or process we are delivering, that goes rather than going and rather than correcting that in the same slot or increment, it goes to the next iteration, and then we deliver all the missed items or defects, you can say, we have identified through
Yeah,
first
yeah,
iteration.
yeah. So that's what we call this as
Hmm.
a Scrum way of working, Scrum framework. So tomorrow we will discuss this. Uh, Wait a moment. You see here, this is a Scrum framework. This is exactly what you're asking. We
Hmm.
will cover this tomorrow. Okay. So let's say
Okay.
we are demonstrating the work. Some bug fixes are coming. You see, there's a feedback mechanism. We put the feedback and the defects identified back into the product backlog, and we repeat improving them in the next iteration. So this is all about Scrum framework. We will cover this tomorrow in detail. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, the Raj, you have a question?
Yeah, so for any project, we need the requirements in place, right, to start planning for the project's executions, right? So in that case, in the automotive context, industry context, so who will give the requirements from the marketing team for the project?
Requirements will come from various stakeholders. To start with,
Mm-hmm.
the customer will provide requirements, okay, and
Mm.
we call this as customer requirements. Government agencies will provide requirements, for example, safety and compliance requirements,
Okay.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Okay.
also extract some requirements from industry standards like ISO. If you're from automotive, then you must be knowing ASIL standard, okay.
Mm.
um, and then and so many. So requirements will come from
So
various stakeholders. Yeah.
okay, so we'll compile all the requirements, then we can have the make a plan.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So if it's any customer requirements, is as being a project manager, so we negotiate the requirements, or we have to take up all the requirements to execute the project.
We need to negotiate at times because
Mm.
sometimes your client will be unrealistic or expect too much.
Mm. Mm.
Maybe
Mm.
you might be building a gaming console, okay, for kids. Of course, this could make your client earn millions of dollars, but end of the day, it's a gaming console. Now, if your client is
Mm.
coming up with quality specifications which are in line with the space program, you need to tell them that this kind of testing, this kind of precision is not needed for a gaming console. We need to negotiate. Do you agree?
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes your client will underestimate things. We need to tell them this is a safety critical feature. We cannot just ignore
Mm.
this
Mm.
one. We need to do something extra. We need to do that as well. So negotiation is always needed.
Needed.
We
Okay.
need to
Perfect.
educate the client, and client will be open because he's coming to you because
Mm. Mm.
he's not able to do some work. You are the expert. We need to tell them this is right, this is wrong, and this is too much, this
Okay.
is less, and we need to
Mm.
convince
Mm.
the
Mm.
customer. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Got it.
We have
Uh,
both requirement collection techniques, also
mm. Mm.
negotiation topic. We call this a shared building shared understanding inside this training. We'll cover them in the future modules. Okay.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah. We have so many requirement collection techniques, gathering techniques,
Mm.
how to understand the
Oh.
expectations of the stakeholders, how to manage the
Mm.
stakeholders, what are different stakeholders we have in the project. Everything is will be covered in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. The last topic is hybrid development approach. It's a combination of predictive and agile. I've already mentioned we have a project where you have four components. Some components you know, are meant for predictive. For example, these are very simple modules in the project. Now, I have two more components, big components, they are complex in nature. If I try to do all of them with predictive, will it work out? It's good for these two simple components. But here, I need to discover the requirements. Probably I need to split the work into small increments. So it's not going to work out. This is good for these two modules, but not good for these two modules. And think about applying Agile for all the four cases. In Agile, we do too much of planning. So too much of planning is not really needed for a feature which are or a module which are simple in nature. We can prepare the complete plan and go for execution. Now in this case, Agile is good for these two cases but not good for these two cases. And therefore we use a combination of predictive and Agile. So in this project we have four big modules or phases in the project. We feel that these two can be done using predictive and these two can be done using Agile. And when we do that, we have something called hybrid. Let's take this example. You want to develop a mobile phone, and there are three major components: mechanical components, electrical components, and software. We are pretty much able to collect all the requirements for the mechanical and electrical component, the PCB, the circuits, the housing, okay, the holder, display. So we got all the requirements. We designed, we performed the design, we developed, we tested, boom, we got the mechanical and electrical components. We did these two components using predictive development approach. And how about the software development? Software we needed for this mobile application. We did it using Agile. We collected the requirements. We didn't get all the requirements. We did the design. We did the development. We did the testing. And we presented the completed work to the customer, received feedback. Through feedback, we received new requirements. We used them to improve the software. We repeated this process for the required number of times until the client says, I'm fine with this software. So we built this software using Agile, and we built the mechanical and electrical components using predictive. And now the software is ready. The mechanical and electrical components are ready. We're going to put them together. When we do that, we get the mobile phone. So this is an example for hybrid development approach. Are you clear? What is hybrid development approach? Yes, no, maybe. Is it clear? Is it good? So most of the projects we do these days are done using hybrid, because there's always certain components inside the project which are meant for predictive. Too much of planning is not needed. There are some components inside the project, modules or phases inside the project, which are complex. We cannot do them using um, predictive. We need to apply agile. So therefore, when you combine predictive and agile to do a project, we call this as hybrid development approach. Now, we're going to do a small quiz and close today's discussion. Please go to the files you downloaded from the Google Drive. You will find a drag and drop quiz for development approach. Can you see that file? This one. Please open this HTML file in a browser. Can you open this file? File name is quiz-development approaches drag and drop. Once you are ready, please let me know. Learners, are you able to open this file? Okay, good. Now you need to drag and drop and match. So we have some options here. You need to drag and drop them. So adaptive, you go and read these options and pull the right um, item and drop them, match them. This is your exercise. So finish the exercise and then click submit. You will know how many answers you got right. Good. Once you are done, let me know in the chat. Done? Yes, no, maybe. So there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many of you got 8 out of 8? Got 5. That's not bad. Others? Geetika, Hari, Divraj, Harshita, Shabir, Sayed, Amit. We have 2 Amits. Peter. Five. Okay, that's good. That's a good score. If you don't want to share your score, that's fine. Just let me know. If you're done, let me know. I will also solve it for you. 4. Okay. Not working on iPad. Okay. I'm sorry. Is it opening in Safari browser? For
Yeah, I tried, Ahmad, so
oh,
it's
is
not
it
working.
not
Yeah.
working? Maybe you can forward this file and try to open this from a computer. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Safari works for me. Okay. I think Amit tried and I think for him it's working. Yeah. Done? Peter, are you done? Sayed, Amit, Tripathi, Shabir. Super. Okay. Great. Perfect. Great. Shabir, thanks for the confirmation. Amit, are you done? Okay, Sayed. No problem. Maybe you can forward this file to your computer and try it after this training. Okay? Yeah. Now let's solve this. Quickly solve this and close today's meeting. Okay, first, um, not working with my phone, try in laptop. Okay, fine. So adaptive. Adaptive is about when you use adaptive, when most of the requirements are missing and product is also complex. Do you agree? We use adaptive in this situation. Hybrid. Hybrid is the combination of predictive and agile. You see here, we have one here. All right. Then um, how about incremental? Solution complexity level is higher. So we split and do. So we're going to use incremental here. And I think we need to do this one. Okay. So first, adaptive projects with most of the missing requirements and product is complex. So we need to split the work. Also, we need to seek feedback. And second, hybrid. It's a combination of iterative and predictive. It could be iterative and predictive, or incremental or predict plus predictive, or adaptive or predictive. And incremental solution complexity level is higher. So we split the work. Therefore, we match this one with this. And simple projects, we use them using predictive. And if you have high requirement uncertainty, then we prefer iterative. Only high requirement uncertainty. And then um, predictive and iterative. Predictive and iterative are will produce only one single delivery towards the end of the project. I hope you agree with me, right? And when it comes to adaptive and incremental, we um, have a possibility for incremental delivery. In both the cases, we come up with small deliverables. After we finish an increment, we can deliver it to the client. But in predictive, we construct the whole house and deliver, and think about iterative, the blue whale. Until the reach the final stage of the blue whale, we cannot ship this to customer. Do you agree? So in predictive and iterative, we're going to make one single delivery towards the end of the project. And finally, when it comes to agile, in agile, we have three types of development approaches: adaptive, incremental, and iterative. Are you clear? Yes, no, maybe? Good. Okay. So
Yes,
we will
sir.
do many exercises like this in future to solidify understanding. I will also give all this, you know, uh, sheets, files with you. You can use them for your exam preparation. I will also share many files for your exam preparation, especially when it comes to seats. I will create I will share this files with you for every knowledge area, and you can play them again and again, and to make and ensure that your brain remember them permanently you won't have any problem in your exam solving questions. Okay, good. We'll also use all puzzles, crosswords. I will give some assignments to you, and all these things will help us to make the learning process more enjoyable and effective. With that, we are done with today's discussion. If you have any questions or doubts, you can let me know. Geetika, you have any questions or doubts?
No, I was just checking if this PPT used will be shared as well, or any link sort of to just re go there.
Which one?
The
Can you please?
examples, the elaborations which you have done.
Okay, so they are
Okay.
already, I will share you the materials. So I have captured all those illustrations in the blog, and I will share you the blog link with you now. Okay, it's on my website. You can,
Okay.
whenever you want, you can go and refer to them. Is it clear?
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Okay, right. So I've shared the feedback link with you all. Please provide your valuable feedback for today's discussion. Yes, Shabir, you have a question, please.
Yeah, I do have a question, but I will take it to tomorrow. I have some question, but I will take it tomorrow.
You can call me in the daytime tomorrow morning if you're available. I will be more than happy to assist you, Shabir. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please participate in the survey. Thank you, Amit. Hari, Shilpa, Peter, do you have any questions? All good?
No, nothing. Just a reminder that please grant an access for that Google Drive
Sure,
so that
sure, Shilpa.
that's
Okay.
everything.
Sure. I will do it right away. After we finish this class, I will share the,
So that,
you
we
know,
can start. Yeah, we will come back with the more great.
sure, sure. I will do it right
More
away after this
with
class.
more doubts. I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
great. Yeah.
You're most
Yeah,
welcome.
I have some questions, but I want to have a look at the slides and come back tomorrow.
Sure, sure, Hari. I will share the session recordings with you now in some time. You can refer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Durai Raj,
Thank you. I'm
Harshita.
just
Yeah, thank you.
meeting
Thank you, Shilpa. Yeah.
much.
You're most
Thank you,
welcome.
Ahmed. Thanks for this wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please participate in the uh, survey. Um,
Sure.
yeah. Harshita, Shabir, Amit Tripathi, Sayed, you have any questions? You have any doubts? Durai Raj.
Yeah, Ahmad, yeah, no questions. It was a great session. So, it's a nice experience to learn about the PMP. So, I'm looking forward to have more classes and we'll meet you tomorrow.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I will be more than
Yeah.
happy to work with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Today I'm
hi
kind of
Ahmad.
tired.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah, Sayed, please.
yeah, I'm sorry. I had an emergency, so I have to go out of the house. So due to which I could not have access to the laptop. But indeed, I was active. I was listening to all your lecture. It was really great and helpful. I was confused about the hybrid for quite a long time, but yes, you have clarified. The
Okay.
first session, it's kind of a great session. I learned a lot from this. I'm then looking forward more from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much for appreciating the work. And I hope everything is okay at your end. As you mentioned, you had some emergency. I hope
Yeah,
everything is okay. And I will share
yeah.
the
I mean,
session
it's
recordings. You can see
sure,
them. And any question, any doubts, feel free to call me tomorrow. Okay, Sayed.
sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amit. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hari. Shabir, all good, fine. Sayed, all good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Thank you very
Super.
much.
Yeah, most welcome. See you tomorrow. Okay. Then, if we do not have any questions, we can wrap up today's call. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye, everyone. Durai, can we close the call? Do you have any questions?
Sorry, no, Hamad. So sorry.
Okay, super.
Bye. We'll
Please
make it.
participate in the survey. Yeah.
Yeah, I have done my survey. So,
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
Take care. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye bye.